Solid niggas left, but it's not enough. You bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I ain't chasing cheap ass, yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga, what? They like, what he on? This the Alpha and Omega, bitch, welcome home. This is not a song, this is a revelation, how to get a nigga gone. You need you a man, baby, I don't understand, baby. Pay a bill and make you feel protected like I can, baby. Teach you something if you need correction, that's the plan, baby. Don't put your life in these weird niggas' hands, baby. Whoa! It's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. I get on their ass, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I made them niggas mad, yeah, somebody gotta do it. I take the G pass, yeah, watch a nigga do it. We survived outside, all from the music, nigga, what? Hey, turn this TV off. Ain't with my type activities, then don't you get involved. Hey, what? How many should I see? Send them off. Take a risk or take a trip. You know I'm tripping for my dog. Who you with? Couple sergeants and lieutenants for the get back. This revolution been televised. I fell through with the knickknacks. Hey, young nigga, get your chili up. Yeah, I meant that. Hey, black out. If they act out, yeah, I did that. Hey, what's up, though? I hate a bitch that's hating on a bitch and they both hoes. I hate a nigga hating on them niggas and they both broke. If you ain't coming for no chili, what you come for? Nigga feel like he entitled cause he knew me since a kid. Bitch, I cut my granny off and she don't see it how I see it. Got a big mouth, but he lack big ideas. Send him to the moon, that's just how I feel. Yeah, it's not enough. Few solid niggas left, but it's not enough. Few bitches that are really step, but it's not enough. Say you bigger than myself, but it's not enough. Somebody gotta do it. Got my foot up on the gas, but somebody gotta do it. Turn this TV off, turn this TV off. 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 Ain't no other king in this rap thing, they siblings. Nothing but my children. One shot, they disappearing. I'm in a city with a flag be getting thrown like it was past interference. Padlock around the building. Crash pulling up in a marked truck just to play freeze tag. With a bone to pick like it was C-Pass. So when I made it out, I made about 50K from a show. Trying to show niggas the ropes before they hung from a rope. I'm prophetic. They only talk about it, how I get it. Only good for saving face, seen the cosmetics. How many heads I gotta take to level my aesthetics? Hurry up and get your muscle up. We up the plyometric. Nigga ran up by the Luxness, up the highest metric. The city just made it sweet, you could diabetic. They mouth get full of deceit. Let these cowards tell it. Rockin' New Orleans with the etiquette, the LA yelling. Niggas say they're mad, but somebody gotta do it.
Nothing changes. All I want is a moment to think clearly. But thoughts come unrelenting, consuming every waking moment. My mind binds me and I can't escape. I shout for help, but no one hears me. One day I feel I'll just disappear. Lost in this chaos, I'm searching for peace.
Hey, what is up, everybody? John Escudero here with Greg Thomas. Middle of the night, live in the middle of the night if you're watching. Little late night stream, little late night FM radio for you. We're playing the hits. You know how it gets after
sounds of daybreak.
After 10 p.m., you start playing the porn songs. That's how that goes.
I thought it was the elevator songs, but okay.
No, when I was young, I used to listen to Hot 97 to go to sleep. And after 10 p.m., it was the R&B music. And it was always about ass. I was like, fuck it. It's always about fucking. I was like, damn, I'm going to grow up and be romantic. It was a bad idea. Stop. Please stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Madness.
It's been a great week of pro wrestling for me personally. I had a fun time over Night of Champions weekend. It's a great time. Maybe not like it's not always about watching the show. Sometimes it's just being a member of the community on good days. Sometimes when you're in the internet wrestling community, as I am in the IWC a lot. I like to be in there, start discussion, take part in discussion, make money. And there's always like some days that you remember because everybody stops and everybody kind of unifies, or there's a big fight. And Night of Champions weekend was a big one because we got like confirmation that CM Punk would be working the Saudi Arabia show. And I know a lot of people, myself included, thought that it would be at work and in the last minute he would get pulled out, right? And I know you thought so, Greg, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
And then so when he showed up, the first thing that happens is security shoves a child away from him, but you don't really see the security guy. You just see CM Punk tell the kid like scram. And it's like the worst possible fucking thing that can happen. The second he steps
those
foot
optics got screwed up real easily.
fucking, I was just like dying. Like this is the worst possible thing that could happen, and it did. So yeah, the next day, they do the WWE kickoff show for Night of Champions, and then CM Punk comes out to heavy boos, and there's a guy in the front row that's yelling at him to apologize for the tweet. And Punk gives a speech. This guy wants me to apologize for this tweet, and then he goes and he gives a speech. Says it wasn't about Saudi Arabia and that he was crabby when he woke up that morning, and he apologizes and he loves Saudi Arabia. And that was recorded and clipped and played over to the SmackDown audience over and over and over again, so that when he finally did come out, the reception would be a little different. And so it came
and
out.
Evidently it was.
It shifted the whole crowd. They loved him. It worked. Smart move to whoever came up with that. I imagine it was a request from the Saudi government. But we have a social media guy that tells us somebody owes us an apology. What's that about? Don't worry, we're taking care of it. It's taken care of. It was.
Do we have social media guys like that?
I think that's just me.
Oh, damn.
Damn. I'm sorry. I'm very biased. As they are, I think, as they would be. Because it seemed it was funny to see that was funny to me, because as listeners of the show know, I personally I hate CM Punk, but it's a personal thing from a long time ago. Ignore the handshake of mine. It's a long story that isn't really long, but I don't really want to tell it again. But it does come from like 2011. It exists. So I was just rolling, and I was memeing, and I'm posting memes. And I don't really have no moral issue with this. Like, I'm not like hooked on the idea like CM Punk is a hypocrite. Hi, my God. Oh my fucking God. Look at him. And of course, there's like the big moral thing about WWE working in Saudi Arabia, which we have long said. Like, how long have they been there? Like,
yeah,
you've either gotten over it or you completely protest the show, right? And you don't watch. And I don't believe that a lot of people who have a moral issue with CM Punk working the show are boycotting the show either. So, like,
sure.
I'm never going to be one of those guys. You're never going to catch me morally grandstanding over CM Punk for doing his job. I just think it's fucking hilarious. I think it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. I think it's the funniest thing I've seen this year. If there's an award show at the end of the year, that one's getting funniest moment. It's if I wanted to look at it in some type of objective view as to like what could really be the issue here that everybody had that isn't maybe moral that other people would have. It's like it's in the name, right? It's in the name. CM Punk, people still see him as that guy, but he's old. He's an old man now. He's old.
It's sort of a joke about like the day Metallica cut their hair and everybody was just like, they're people.
You know, like he's probably thinking about a family and shit. You know, like they've got. You know, he's. I'm not leaning all the way. I'm not leaning all the way to say he's matured because I don't think that's what that's for this particular situation. That's not what I'm. That's not what I'm saying. That's not a mature thing. He's doing his job. If you want to say he's matured into doing his job, right? He's matured into being a cog in the wheel and not rocking the boat. If that's that's a certain kind of maturity, right? That's maturity. That's mature. If that's how you're looking at it, that's growth. But in the same vein, a lot of people see that as a betrayal. Personally, I already didn't like him, so I didn't hit me that way. But I've seen a lot of that. I saw a girl with a viral tweet that just said, "Fuck, I really didn't think he'd do it. This is like a punch to the stomach." I can see why they would feel that way, especially if you saw him as like your champion in pro wrestling of things like that. Because besides the tweet, you know, he has gone on shows and or at least one show and said publicly like, I would never work one of those Saudi shows. So I mean, if you really believed that, then damn, that's got to be heartbreaking. I personally stopped believing in wrestlers as people the day Chris Benoit murdered his family, and it's never been the same for me.
Which is probably a real heavy, it's light switch,
right? But Greg, I know you're a big CM Punk fan, big CM Punk fan. I know that you don't personally attach yourself to these wrestlers like this. We've lived through this business long enough to have maybe felt that betrayal as a child. Like it's already.
I think if I were to say like, when was the last time, and mind you, like none of this has changed my fandom. If I were to say like, when was the last time I was disappointed in a wrestler as a person, I think it was like reading Brett's book and him talking about the various accounts of infidelity. And like that's probably the last curtain of heroism I've had over a wrestler as a person.
That's so funny. I'm sorry, Greg. Not laughing at you, but
it's fine.
That is fucking hilarious. That's how highly, holy shit, that man was God. He cheated on his fucking wife
multiple times.
Sunny days. No,
well, no.
I know. I
don't want to perpetuate that it was Sunny because that's the one I don't believe is.
I know. That was Sean.
I don't believe it's true. Yeah, yeah. It's one who thinks it is. I only suggest that you consider. Both of them have been so honest about their multiple infidelities, and neither one of them have mentioned each other. I think there's something to that.
That's hilarious. That's actually great. No, we can't go into people's. Who is it, Greg? Tell us what you've learned in your investigations with the new generation era of infidelities.
God. So like I think that's the last time I've ever actually like felt like really bad about somebody's outside of wrestling behaviors. Other than that, it's just it is what it is. As far as the CM Punk's idea is concerned, it's just like I sort of just take it all at face value. If he felt one way before and he feels a different way now, for whatever reason it might be, maybe it's new information. That's the one thing that sort of sticks in my craw about the whole thing, and it only from a position of just like the way people talk about humanity is the idea that a person is not allowed to change given whatever reason, whether it be new information or just a new perspective or just a lack of energy to fight anymore. Like the idea that people like that it is hypocritical to change, which is wild to me.
He's an old dog, okay?
Sure.
I think RVD said it. It'd be hypocritical if he was still saying those things.
Yes.
And then he did it right now, you know.
And I think that's very agreeable.
But it definitely was like 6 years ago that he tweeted that. What I was gonna say is, does it like you
and I think
mentioned?
It's worth noting that he had already apologized to The Miz for that comment.
He did. He definitely hugged him and all that.
So it's like it's one of those it's one of those weird things where it's like it was already personally buried, but we're bringing it up for a new reason.
I was gonna say, is it disappointing to you at all to see that CM Punk become this CM Punk?
No, because I don't get what this CM Punk is, and that's another thing I have found to be incredibly interesting about everything since he's come back to the company. I think the idea that like people have really attached themselves to CM Punk being like a real person in a fake universe. I don't understand that in the slightest.
I think, like I said, you create precedents. You know, like there is precedence for that thought process. It didn't come out of nowhere. You know, it's people have an expectation based on what they've seen from him already, even after he came back. Because when he first came back to AEW,
but people have seen from him on TV though.
Yeah. I mean, besides not like person, not like the people who are like person. Because you got it on different levels, like an iceberg, right? You got people on the bottom who are like hurt, but then you've got people who are like, this sucks. But one, they can't articulate it. Two, they don't care enough to. They're just like, this sucks. This sucks. This is not the same. It don't taste the same.
So I'm specifically referring to the kind of people who are like, who take everything that Punk said on TV as if that was the real man speaking to you about real things, and then want to hold the things he said on TV against people. It's like it's a television character.
Well, I guess at that point, I don't think those people. I think for this Saudi Arabia thing, people were more disappointed in the man. I guess watching him bow down to the king, for all intents and purposes. There's a number of reasons. Obviously, it's like a political thing. People have their political views about Saudi Arabia, and there's definitely merit in the way that they think. It's I mean, for sure. Personally, I think this country is
politically
also,
speaking, there's some ugly stuff there. Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we talked about this before. Like
politically speaking, there's some ugly stuff here.
Yeah, exactly. There's some ugly stuff here. There's some ugly stuff there. There's ugly stuff everywhere. But the people in Saudi Arabia, it's not like a North Korea situation. There's they're very excited to see wrestling. So
yes.
If it's for them, fine. But what we know, what it really is Saudi Arabia, basically a big, Western culture propaganda machine that they were very open about creating and making. They wanted to draw tourism. They wanted to be a big tourism country. So they reached out to America, and they got boxing and fucking golf and fucking wrestling and fucking movies, and they're building a Dragon Ball theme park, and they're doing this and that.
I was going to speak to the fact that there's a lot of Western business going on there with Rider season.
Yeah. So I don't personally, for me, I don't actually care about that. Like I said,
Is that how you say it?
Radia. I have the graphic, or at least I have some of the graphic. It was part of the Riyadh season.
Riyadh. Okay,
How do
Riyadh
you
season.
end
Yes.
the word with an H? How do you pronounce that? Riyadh.
So yeah, Riyadh season. Because yes, I know Riyadh season has been heavily involved in professional boxing lately, and them and Dana White are putting together an actual like boxing league, which is actually not a thing that really happens in that sport.
That's interesting. But like I said, they are involved in a fuck ton of Western shit because they want to bring tourism over there. So I get, like, I see how my thing, if I was personally attached to this at all, if there was anything that actually disappointed me, like you said, it's just seeing Metallica, cut their hair type thing. Like, oh, they're old. Everybody gets old. This actually sucks to see.
Yeah.
It's.
But at the same time, I'm the only asshole going like, man, but this Reload album kind of slaps.
Oh, but see, he doesn't. If the Hell in a Cell match is the Reload album. No, I guess the Hell in a Cell match would be the one good song. What
Well, no. So like, if we're talking about the one good song, then it's Load, which is like the Hell in a Cell is King Nothing to you.
There you go. And that's very fucking appropriate.
It's like this load song's kind of like man, this Load album's kind of mad, but that King Nothing track, badass. Although some people do really like Until It Sleeps, which isn't like, you know what, that's not a bad song either.
I don't. If that was gonna be like I said,
come back next week for the Metallica retrospective podcast.
Kill 'em all,
which I don't mind doing.
Kill 'em all. Ride the Lightning #1. Hawk 2. Saint Anger. What the fuck? Some kind of what the fuck was what was the name of that damn album? Damn.
No, Saint Anger.
Saint Anger, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say some kind of monster, but that was the
Some
documentary.
Kind of Monster is the name of the documentary, which is also the name of a song on Saint Anger.
Yes, I was confused for a second. That's a Metallica confusion.
I'm Master of Puppets #1, but like Ride the Lightning is a perfectly good choice. I would never fight it.
I love Ride the Lightning, but yeah, no. The CM Punk thing.
I think me and you just disagree on Trapped Under Ice.
I love them all though. That's my thing. Like I love them all. Fade to Black is like my favorite song in the history of music.
Yes.
That kind of tells you my mental state at one point. Yeah, no. Back to CM Punk.
Yes.
He.
You don't want to talk about more Metallica, John? No, I'm kidding.
I always do. You're gonna make me re-download the mobile version of Metallica Guitar Hero.
Oh my God, is that a thing?
It was a thing. You can tap it with your thumbs.
Oh my God.
It's really good. Back to Punk.
Back to Punk.
Right.
No more metal. Back to Punk.
Of course, because I'm interested in seeing. I'm not always interested in seeing people fight the system and go against their own fucking and like self-destruct, But it's interest. I'm always rooting for the Rebel. The Rebel is always the guy I'd root for. When I did like CM Punk, that was the reason why I liked CM Punk. If I had still liked him now, that would be disappointing. That would probably be disappointing to me to see it happen. Like that. Like if I really held out hope, like there's no way he would. Like no way he would actually. And the thing that makes me laugh is like why did they put that on TV? Was this a humiliation ritual? Like the Triple H? That was the joke on Twitter. Like, look, they got him doing the fucking humiliation ritual because he comes out and Cena says, "If you want this title, you got to be a hypocrite and come get it in Saudi Arabia."
It's like when you see the Japanese TV clips of like the Idol apologizing because they shaved their head.
I know it was crazy. Like, there's no way CM Punk the person doesn't feel emasculated, and that is what makes me laugh. Like that's my handshake revenge. I think I got catharsis this weekend. I don't think I care about the handshake anymore. I think he's been put through so much that I don't even care anymore. Like, damn, that was enough. I think I've seen him get lashes.
You're like the person with you're like standing there with the gun to his head, and you're just like, he's had enough.
Ah, God, this is bad. Damn, I didn't know it got this bad. Cut your balls off. Holy shit. All right, let me get like a timeline of events here of how bad it is, and I think in some ways malicious. And there's even if it's not malicious, I think CM Punk will go home and lay down next to AJ, and right before he goes to sleep, he's gonna think Triple H got one on me. That motherfucker got one on me. I know that. Like as a person, there is no way unless they completely brainwash him like fucking like some crazy ass hypnotist shit. There's no way in the fucking world that CM Punk is completely okay with it. But just after everything he said publicly, because CM Punk, Greg, you love CM Punk. Like, you know that his image is important to him.
Crabby individual.
He was a crabby individual, but his fucking image is very important to this man. He wants the world to know his beliefs. Always, because he really does believe in them. He's very self-righteous. That's what I liked about him. I'm very self-righteous. I don't care what anybody else thinks. I know what I think, right? So I know, as a self-righteous person, that this is like a fucking humiliation. It feels like getting your balls cut off. When he comes out to fight John Cena and he gets down on one knee for his clobbering time, I fucking felt the hurt. Like, God, like this, I wish I could have read the words on his mind at that very moment. Like, fuck my life. Like, fuck my fucking life.
Is any of it redeemed for the massive ovation he gets?
I think that's gonna make it feel a lot better. That's like sugar. That's like sugar with the medicine. But it was certainly medicine. And I don't know what. I don't know what he did in his life to get that kind of karma, but that shit came around on him for Night of Champions weekend. But it's fine. Like, he got paid. He's still a millionaire. It's not like these are actual bad things of his life. I just know that it's an itch.
You know what I thought was really funny? I saw a video of a Saudi Arabian gentleman discussing Night of Champions and discussing what he felt like was this idea that the Saudi Arabian people were now hypocrites for giving him the ovation that he got, and he's sort of trying to explain that, like, you know, culturally they are all about forgiveness and change. And it's like, the man apologized, and we can move on now.
Yeah, they wanted to be happy. You know, they don't want to fucking ruin their experience hating someone. They want to have fun. They're not hypocrites for. I don't think they're hypocrites for accepting him that way. I think that was good for. He got a massive fucking pop.
Yeah, he did
on the pay-per-view.
Also, that jacket, kind of liked it.
Very cool. Callback to the Money in the Bank colors, the colorway.
Yes,
that was cool. The promo the night before, career worst, all-time bottom.
Still haven't watched it.
Don't. As a fan, don't.
I saw the outfit and it was just like, I'm good.
Don't. I'm telling you, Greg, this whole fucking angle was a humiliation ritual. Bro, from that shit, the John Cena promo, the John Cena pipe bomb promo, Greg. Did you watch that?
I seen that one, yeah.
They made John Cena said all those things, bro. he said those things, and Punk's rebuttal was an all-time worst fucking freestyle in John Cena. I had people telling me it was supposed to be corny. I was like, yes, but not bad. It was supposed to be corny, but it wasn't supposed to be bad. It was bad. He stumbled over his lines. He delivered it like trash because he doesn't rap.
He looked uncomfortable just walking out.
He did. This was
when I saw the images, I was like, that man does not look comfortable in this skin.
CM Punk in that moment on the ramp, like you're saying, looking uncomfortable, dressed in John Cena's outfit.
Punk life.
That was the encapsulation of everything that was happening and all the reasons why people were mad at him online all weekend. Good morning, Ashley. I hope I said that right. But yeah, that was the encapsulation of all the things that I think people had a problem with CM Punk. Like that was a script being handed to Punk, and I think 2011 Punk would have ripped it up. I think, or 2012 Punk, not 2011. 2011 was still trying to garner favor. 2012 Punk would have ripped it up and said,
Sure.
please give me some other shit. And 2024 Punk, like you said, is an older dog. He's not in the fight.
25.
25, 24 too, but 25.
Fair.
25 Punk. It doesn't have that fight anymore, and he doesn't really have to. He's a machine. He's a cog in the machine, but he also has what he always wanted.
Sure.
The spot, the WrestleMania main event. Like he doesn't have to fight anymore, and I guess that kind of makes people look at him like, well, damn. I guess that's what your fight was all about, wasn't it? And it was shit. Well, it was.
That's another thing I find to be incredibly interesting, and sometimes I don't understand. And maybe it's because I'm so I'm so not indoctrinated, but like maybe that word works. Initiated with like who he was way before this, which is to say, other than CM Punk fighting against the massive system, like I feel like when does CM Punk get allowed to just be a wrestling character again?
I think it got wrapped up. I think it all got that voice of the voiceless stuff, and just his real life persona is so similar to the character that people just got caught up. Remember, I told you before, one of my things, I was like, damn, I must have really got caught up in this gimmick, this voice of the voiceless thing. I thought this guy he cared.
That's why I think it's so
character.
interesting that everybody takes everything he says as if that is the real person speaking to you. I'm like, it's a TV character.
But again, for this thing, then people are just gonna point you. They're gonna point you right to his real life. They're gonna point you right to his real life clips and his real life tweets, and they're gonna be like, "Well, what about that guy?" Because that's
I don't know that guy.
That's exactly. That's another thing. Like you know what you give people, right? And that's what he gave people for so long, and that's why you have to be careful what you give people. You are what you give them.
That much is true, and there's a lot to be said of like that's a lot of what's the word, overexposure.
For sure, as a celebrity, especially, I'm not a celebrity at all, and I don't give people shit about my real life. Like people don't know fuck no. Like you know what I want you to know. You don't even know what my kids look like. I got 3 of those. Did you know that? Until I get there's a Lord drop.
Actually, what's interesting? I saw the guy from Sister Sister talking about this the other day. The neighbor guy who was in that boy band.
Oh, Roger, go home,
yes.
Roger.
Yeah, so
Marquise Houston.
That's exactly what he was talking about. He says he left the show because he couldn't be both, like the nerdy kid next door and like this like hot sexy dude from this boy band that's supposed to be attracting all these women to buy the album, right?
I like that one song he had, Circles. Good guy.
But like the two worlds were crossing over too much, and like they didn't work because he couldn't be both.
Yeah,
be both things for both people.
Roger. How are you supposed to be sexy if you're Roger? Go home, Roger.
Right. Everyone just sees these two twins teasing you and all that shit. Like, how can I do that and then go be fucking, mini Genuine on tour?
Were they in college when he left the show, or were they still in high school?
I have no idea. I don't remember, honestly.
That's a show I watched a lot as a kid. It's funny. I'm gonna say the funniest shit I ever said on this show. And it's a swear 100% shoot. Sister. When I was a kid, I had to be fucking 5. But they do they have an intro. Sister, and then I don't know what season it was, but halfway through the show they shift because they grow up and they go to I think they go to college, or maybe they go to high school. But they change the intro and it's like sister, but then it's like a remix, like and it changes. And
do you do the record scratch?
Yeah, it's the 90s. And the father, I think his name is Ray. I think his daughter is wearing like a midriff or something, so he covers her like because she's growing up. I guess is the theme, and he's uncomfortable, so he covers her with the sheet. And I'm like 5 or 6 or maybe 7, but the act of him covering her with that sheet made me so fucking curious about what could be under that sheet. I think that was my sexual awakening. It's like, wait. What was that? What was back there? What are these wonderful creatures?
So to take what you're saying back to a wrestling context, I sometimes imagine like what the whole Lita thong era did for a lot of young people.
I mean, you gotta wonder, like, wait, I didn't know underwear looked like that.
Right.
Maybe by that point, I was already,
do they normally wear it above their pants? Like,
it's kind of desensitized a little bit. I don't think the thong was doing it
over time. Yeah.
I was like, I was 13. I was like, there's no nipple. No, but anyway.
Jesus.
But anyway,
sister was 1994.
That's that's pretty much all there is to say about the CM Punk Saudi Arabia situation. I certainly got my laughs about it. And some people were like really mad. The defenders are the funniest ones. Oh my god, this was such a glorious weekend to be like a hater. It was fucking glorious, bro. Incredible. Good, such a good time. I'm telling you, I don't even care anymore. It's like this was it. I never need another.
We're back to zero.
We're back to net neutral. This is great. It was fucking
so like,
great.
is this just, like, can you be a CM Punk fan again?
I don't know if I go that far, but the shot. I'm telling you, there's no way Triple H wasn't getting some sort of revenge. That final shot of Punk when he's laid out with the giant Saudi logo.
Yeah.
Like, this is fucking crazy. Like, this is crazy. And
I look forward to CM Punk pinning Gunther.
No, but I'm telling you, Greg, someday in the future, Punk is gonna come out and he's gonna be like, "Yeah, man, it was all work. Like, I was definitely okay with that. Like, that's what I wanted it to be. I wanted to give the people that image. I wanted them to have it. Fuck you. Pre interview. I want to say it years early so that it's out here. If I die, fuck you. No, you didn't. But that's a good way to try to reclaim it. I will not blame you for that. Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, honestly, I was like, I'll be very amused after this when he gets to pin Gunther.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. I mean, somebody's got to do it, and I don't think it's gonna be Goldberg.
No. God help us all.
Hopefully.
I imagine at this point, well, no, I guess it could happen that way. No, it would. Who won the goddamn tournament?
Cody Rhodes.
Okay, so he's doing his SmackDown thing then.
Yeah, he's challenging John Cena, most likely.
John China.
Oh, fuck. John China. John, not Taiwan. No, John China.
John China. I'm doing the Santino thing.
I thought you were talking about
not John China. No.
You're talking about the other thing.
No. John China.
Shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I guess I'm pretty much resigned to it being Seth at SummerSlam, but it would be interesting enough if they did Gunther and then they circled back to Seth with the belt.
They kind of teased. They did tease, like you're right. They did tease CM Punk and Seth Rollins involved with Gunther. SummerSlam triple threat match, maybe type thing.
Perhaps.
But in that scenario, CM Punk and Rollins cancel each other out.
As someone with both tickets, I'm just looking for SummerSlam to be as interesting as possible.
Sure. I wish you got Punk versus Cena. I'm sure that's what he wishes too.
Kind of. Yeah.
At SummerSlam, like in a normal setting, without all the controversy surrounding it. Do you think they fumbled that feud?
Punk and Cena?
This one, this final chapter of it,
That's
like
what
looking
I
back
know
on
what you
it.
meant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Only up until the only like no up until the word life gimmick.
Because it's, what is it, like 3 weeks, right? 3 build segments, and it's the first one where Cena calls him a hypocrite.
See, I guess the weird thing is that like the whole thing was sort of I said it when it happened, like, oh, they're pushing the Saudi thing on purpose.
I already said that was fucking weird because there's no payoff other than the humiliation of Punk.
Right. But like it was also weird in the sense that like it was clearly a part of the angle, but they were so non-committal about it.
Yeah.
You know, they don't lean into it. The commentary doesn't lean into it, but like Cena's clearly pushing it. You gotta go to Saudi Arabia to get your match.
Might have been an ad lib on that. Might have been an ad lib. And what the fuck is Punk gonna do to John Cena? What are you gonna say to John Cena? I damn sure is not gonna handle it the way you handle the Hangman thing. I'll tell you that much.
It was just a very weird thing to see happen, and at the end of it all, it was just like I got the match I wanted, so that was all it was. I've been very clear about it. I thought they did a good job. They played the hits. They didn't do anything too particular. Cena is I think it was this match where I came to the conclusion. I was like, yo, I don't think Cena can actually just wrestle at this point.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like it's sort of like
he's doing his best.
Yeah, like I don't know if it's a physical thing or I don't know. I obviously he's still in fantastic shape, right? Especially for a guy his age.
Yeah.
Physical stature and all that, but like it feels like the movements are off. And it feels like I'm watching like those. Actually, Cena is on the other side of those Rock matches.
The first time where Rock was the one who tore his fucking bicep just doing a fucking bump or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The Rock matches at those 2 WrestleManias where like obviously the Rock is physically fit, but he can't move the way he used to.
Yeah, no, I think that's what I mean. Cena basically said as much.
Did he?
Well, he had said like the reason I'm retiring is because I can't perform the way I want to anymore. Right?
It looks like it.
Yeah, and now we're starting to kind of see it, and it's like that's why I don't like you. I'm soft on the John Cena part of like I'm not hard on like oh this sucks or whatever. I'm not on that train. Like I think it could have been better. The heel turn. I think they could have done things differently. I think they fell into a little bit of a cookie cutter thing, played it safe, wanted to make sure they kept making money, even though he got to express himself creatively. But fucking I just appreciating what we're getting from him right now. Like he's like Tanahashi. Like I'm just like, oh, this is nice. Like I'll take it.
Yeah.
You know,
I think if I may be so bold to say, I think Tanahashi's worse in the sense that I from my eyes and from my observations, I feel like Cena is operating within his limitations, and it feels like Tanahashi's constantly pushing for that gear and can't find it.
Yeah, no, you got a good point there. Case in point. Hiroshi Tanahashi announced for the G1 Climax.
Oh God, why Hiroshi? Good Lord! Oh God,
what the fuck? What,
doing, man?
What?
Oh, no.
We talked about that. We did. I won't spend too much time on it, but like you said, reaching for heights that he might not, definitely can't reach anymore.
I refer only to the idea that a few years back, I remember we joked about because he had mentioned it, and we both talked about like. Chris Jericho in the G1, and then it only took a few minutes to go like, oh, he ain't gonna make it.
I do remember that. Well, he was like a tease, right? It was
Yeah,
some
like
kind of tease.
he was teasing out like, oh, maybe I, do the G1 climax. And it's just like, it sounds like a fun idea, and it was like, oh wait, no, not that, Jericho. No, 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 no. No, baby girl, no.
It's 1 week through the tour and he's fucked. I don't think I can do it. We're changing the whole chart.
Yeah, right. So yeah, that's the big difference. Tanahashi is still reaching for that third gear and can't find it, whereas Cena's just like, I know what my limitations are, and this is where we're working.
Diluted the shit out of that fucking overbooked main event formula. I was like, oh man, come on, man, you fucked it up. It was so good the first time you did it. Like, why is every match a Bloodline Rules match now? Like, what the fuck, bro? You fucked it up. Damn, you're diluting it.
Fiend. No,
and it's fucked up because I wanted to see them do that. I wanted to see them do a version of that for the end of the fucking AEW All In. But the WWE keeps fucking doing it. Are you like muddying the fucking water?
yeah.
Like, are you doing this on purpose? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, get out. You get out of the way. Stop.
I'm like, there's gonna be a version of it because like that there's almost no way for it. To some degree, there's no way for that match to end other than the AEW locker room working together to fight back the Death Riders.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's just like the WWE has been running that Avengers Endgame angle for 6 months now.
It was so good, man. But you're right.
Excuse me.
We're talking about All In, talking about AEW. We might as well talk about Dynamite 300. Boom, baby. AEW Dynamite 300, the 300th episode of Dynamite, and they let me down. It was a great episode. Let me say that, first of all, but they let me down.
Okay.
There was no 300 episode highlight video. What the fuck is wrong with y'all, Barry? You're making me sick. You're making me sick with this shit. You're such a fucking cheap motherfucker, Tony. Like, you keep on pulling this carny bullshit. You keep on putting these fucking numbers in front of these Dynamites. Oh, Dynamite 150, Dynamite 300.
Sean wants his indulgence.
No goddamn highlight video. Why are we celebrating so-called celebrating AEW 300 episodes of Dynamite with no highlight video? Fuck you. It's bullshit. That's you cheaped out. They did this once. They did a highlight video once when they left the pandemic and they were saying goodbye to Daily's Place. That was perfect. Sure. Why don't we have more of those? Why don't we do that? That makes the moments feel iconic. God damn it. That makes the people that just started watching Dynamite go, what the fuck was Sting just doing there? Holy shit. I got to go back and watch that. It kills me. It sounds like a joke, but I am genuinely disappointed. Like, why are we not running highlight videos? I know we love wrestling. I love wrestling. You can shave off 4 minutes, bro. Stop playing with me. Stop fucking playing with me. Paying for fucking. I hope they didn't pay. And people were saying they paid for Memuero for Mystico on Collision. I was like, I fucking hope you didn't. I know goddamn well you did not do that.
Did they? Didn't. Oh, sorry, it's Collision you said, so we won't know yet.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I think that was after the show, after the cameras went off. But
okay,
I think so. But
it doesn't count if it's just a live.
Yeah, because they do the same thing with Brian. They play Final Countdown when the camera's off, like when he's leaving.
Oh, okay. I mean, we were there at Grand Slam where they played Kiss, and we found out it wasn't on TV. It was like, oh,
fucking Taz, yeah. But yeah, Dynamite 300 open hot. I was like, oh shit. Hangman Adam Page comes out. He's furious. He basically last week the Death Riders beat him up. They choked him with a chain, and I was
curious about his haircut.
I was rewatching. Well, I'll talk about it in a second. Okay. With the haircut, but the week before on Dynamite, they Jon Moxley choked him out with a chain, and I laughed, and I was like, "Oh shit, he never got over that Texas Death Match ending where he got fucking hung by the chain."
Okay.
And then this week, Hangman comes out and he says, "You know, I fucking let me pull up the recap because I'm doing it from memory. I have most of it, but I know I'm gonna miss a part. Like, damn, I should have said that. But what were you gonna say? You told me you were gonna talk.
No, but I'll take this moment to say I still have a personal issue with AEW's Texas Deathmatch.
Well, I haven't even gotten to that plot point yet.
You just mentioned the chain one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Okay. Well, yeah.
You just mentioned the one with Swerve.
They don't do the pin, right?
They don't do the 10 count.
They do the 10 count. They do the 10 count. But you have
They didn't do the 10. I don't remember them doing the 10 count at all after the 10.
I just watched Hangman versus Moxley deathmatch, Texas deathmatch, and they do the 10 count. What they don't do is because you're supposed to pin
this
them
already.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Like, and I was like, okay, well, let me get through this. Hangman, he comes out and he's angry. He's angry at what happened, and he says, I'm gonna save this fucking world championship from Jon Moxley. I'm gonna take the title out of that suitcase. I'm going to hold it over my head at the end of All In. That is his vow. He wants Jon Moxley. He wants everything Jon Moxley has. He wants the Death Riders. He wants all the interference, all the bullshit. Hangman
They should open the briefcase and it's just a brand new belt. Like, when the fuck did this come from?
Did you pay for this? Why? It turns out Jon Moxley has a thing for belts. Who knew? God, they took my baby.
I'm sorry, John.
He's crying. No, but Hangman wants Jon Moxley in a Texas death match. I said Texas death match. I can't believe I wrote that. And never noticed. Didn't notice it until now. I'm sure the comments are like, typo. Anyway, Jon Moxley comes out and he says no. And I was like, before he came out, I was like, Moxley should literally tell him no. Like, why would he say yes? Why should he say yes? I certainly wouldn't just be like, yes, Texas deathmatch. Like, why? That sounds dangerous.
I would have thought that would be only because it's Moxley. I guess I would have thought that would be like, oh yeah, that's fucking home for me, dog. Shit.
He's like, no, but he said it in a mocking way. Like, he wanted. I can sense that Jon Moxley has been the one trying to keep a consistent theme for the Death Rider story. Like, even though there's been pivots and things have changed, and now we found a good place for the Death Riders. I think we are at such a great place for the Death Riders. Like, we've talked about it before. We talked about it last week. A place where they've held down the baby faces so long, but it's created like desperation from the fans. They're like paying. They want to pay to see somebody beat them. That's what it should all. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always about. And it's reached that level, and it wasn't always there, but they've gotten there. And but like I said, there's been ebbs and flows. But across one thing, Jon Moxley has always in his promos tried to push this. I'm waking AEW up, or I'm waking you up, whoever it is I'm in this fucking situation with. Can you take this from me? Whoever it is that's in front of him trying to take it from him, he is genuinely daring you to. Because if you can, I think he'll respect it. With this Hangman thing, it's more apparent than it's ever been. He's straight up telling him. He's told him in 2 promos now, and again tonight, you don't have what it takes. I've been watching you. You can't do this. He told him again tonight, no for this Texas death match because you don't want this. This is not what you want. You don't want to pin me and be AEW World Champion. You don't want that pressure. You've been running from it for 2 years now. That's what Moxley tells Hangman. And
was that his promo last week?
Yeah, he told him that again. Now you don't want this.
Okay.
You don't want this Texas death match. Like, stop saying that. Like,
I remember that segment last week. I was just like, it's one of the few decent promos Moxley's had about this whole thing in a long time.
Yeah, he told him basically that again, like, you don't want this, you don't have what it takes. And Hangman slaps him, and Moxley double legs him, and they start brawling, except that Hangman pulls a fucking fork out of his pocket. But before he could stab Moxley, the Death Riders come out, and they beat the shit out of him. And Claudio gives Hangman the neutralizer, and the Death Riders are leaving. But Hangman gets up and he says, send your little neutered lapdog Claudio back after me, because bitch, I'm still standing. So while they're walking back, the ops finally come out. I was like, damn, I thought all y'all were talking that shit about helping Hangman. Y'all just let him get jumped. But they did finally come out. Samoa Joe and Hobbs did.
At least Joe didn't do his cute little walk as he did it.
Like Penta did the fucking Cena. But yeah, they hold back Claudio. Marina Shafir tries to attack Hangman with the suitcase. Hangman stops her. He takes that shit and he says, now Moxley, I got something you want. Give me Texas Death. Give me Texas Death. And I was like, God, something about that just comes off so cool. Like, I think he wants to die. Kill him. No, give him Texas Death. But yeah, Moxley says, God damn it.
Leave me in the desert heat.
Moxley says, God damn it. And he accepts Texas Death Match as official for All In. And then Hangman says, all right.
Who's booking the matches?
Yeah, no, right. The Young Bucks actually bring that up in a promo later on. They're like, what? Why does Hangman think he has power here? We're AVPs. But Hangman says, before I leave, just in case you thought I didn't have what it took, he fucking buckshotted their shit out of Marina Shafir. He smoked that bitch, killed her. I was like, holy shit. Great segment. Great.
That is a choice that can be read multiple ways. But that's funny. Like, you thought I didn't have what it takes to beat you. Watch me hit a woman.
Watch me kill this bitch. Oh shit, Sheriff! Why did you do that?
I'm not sure that's the message you were quite trying to send, Hangman.
Which part of the cowboy movie does the sheriff shoot the lady? Just in case you didn't have what you thought I didn't have what it took, cowboy. Pow! He shoots her partner. He shoots your lady partner. Holy shit! That would actually be a fucking sick ass. That would be sick. But yeah, that this feels like a big angle. It feels like a main event for All In a stadium. You know.
Sure.
I was like, damn, this is gonna be good. I went back and I watched their first Texas Death Match because I was like, first of all, at no point in this promo did they mention the first one. Like, they didn't mention, I already did this. Like, Hangman was like, didn't say, I already beat you in Texas Death. It reminds me of when Triple H and The Undertaker started a new beef at WrestleMania and never mentioned WrestleMania 17 again. Like, we never heard.
That was a different guy.
We never heard about that match again. They never play highlights from that match. They only ever show him, Shawn and Hunter hugging. They must hate that match. But that's what I got. That's what I got memories of. But yeah, I rewatched their first Texas Death Match, and I'm just thinking, in what way do they think they can top that? Like, that was so horrifyingly violent. Like, why? Like, someone got lynched with a chain. It was wild. Like, he clotheslined the shit out of him while he was wearing those chains before he hung him with them. I was like, Jesus, good Lord. There was bricks stomping hands, and Hangman goes into a barbed wire chair head first and loses a part of his hair that I don't think he ever got back.
Yeah.
And I think that's why he has this weird ass haircut now. Yeah, I was like, but like, I guess the spectacle of it all will definitely add to the atmosphere. The big story surrounding it is probably bigger now than it was then. The story then was the Hangman got knocked out one time in real life. He didn't like it. And it was like a manly ass feud. Like, it was cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong. But this was like a main event world championship, save the company, save the world type thing. I guess that in itself will make it, like, all it has to do is match the quality of that match, and all these extra things will propel it beyond it.
Yeah.
But
there are some people who are very I guess either, I don't know if it's upset or disappointed that this isn't Will Ospreay.
I think I think when Hangman first pinned Ospreay, I remember thinking like, whoa, like, what the fuck? Like this is not Osprey's moment. But as the feud with Hangman and Moxley has gone on, and as it's been like cemented what this is about to be, it's the perfect. This was it. This was the way to go. Like you guys, you made the right choice on that one. If you came to that fork on the road and you had to make that hard decision and you went this direction, you made the right direction. I might not have made that choice. I might have went the easy route. I might have went with Osprey, and then we would have lost this whole thing that we have here. And then you also have what is set up later, which is Osprey and Swerve versus the Young Bucks. EVPs versus if Osprey and Swerve lose, they can't challenge for the world championship for a year. I was like, are they gonna write a way for Osprey and Swerve to just not be in the world title picture while Hangman is champion?
They better have some good writing for that fucking year.
That's kind of crazy. People were like, oh, well, that's perfect for Swerve because then he can be, for Osprey because then he can be champion at Wembley. I was like, that doesn't actually make sense. Because if he can't challenge for the belt for a year, like why would he be able to be in the Wembley title match?
Yeah, right. Like, how do we set up the Wembley title match if he technically can't officially be booked?
No, I think that's a cool way to make the match unpredictable because I think otherwise it just looked like the Bucks are just going to drop there. Well, this is it. They're going to drop the EVP titles. But with this new stipulation, that sounds very realistic. It doesn't even sound like never again. They'd be like, you can never challenge for the world title again. And you'd be like, damn, that's probably not happening. It's like a year.
It's Cody again. No.
It's like 1 year I can't challenge for the belt. I was like, damn, actually sounds that sounds concerningly realistic. Wait, I genuinely don't want that result. Wait.
Yeah. It's just one thing. The other step is that the Bucks step down.
From the EVP position.
Yes.
Yeah, they don't have power to change matches or storyline stuff. And I think that's a more real. That one is easier to.
God, the show could definitely use less of that.
Hey, confusing anyway. But anyway, we'll get to that in a second. We followed that opening segment up with Mercedes Moné versus Mina Shirakawa. Shit, I think they over delivered. I was like,
the belt wants Mina.
Unfortunately, not tonight.
Is it unfortunate? Oh, okay.
No, not tonight. I wish. I not that I just kind of I love Mina. I wish she would have won.
I thought the line that the belt wants Mina was really funny.
I thought the belt wanted Mina too. I genuinely thought Mercedes was gonna drop the belt here tonight.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I thought if she was gonna beat Toni Storm, then this would be a good place to drop the TBS belt.
It would have been telling.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the way we felt when what was it? It was like Yoda and who else dropped their belts? I was like, oh, they're in the finals.
Yoda Tsuji and Konosuke fucking Takeshita.
Yeah. They're like, oh, Takeshita and Yoda dropped their belts. They're in the finals.
Yeah, G1 finals.
He called it immediately.
Mercedes versus Toni Storm now will still be for the world championship, but Mercedes will come in with all the belts that she had. So, but again, it was a great match. Mina loses fair and square. She got rolled up, I think. Yes, she did get rolled up.
At the risk of sounding like I'm just taking a massive stance on this and being a hater, Mercedes can't win this match.
No. I think maybe we mentioned it on the last episode, DirtSheetRadio 200. Nice. But that
we're our
back
recap video, John.
Right? I should have ran a highlight video. I don't have a fucking gazillion dollars.
That's your position.
Yeah, when you got money, fuck. No, we talked about it before though. I think that we're at the same place we were at Double or Nothing in 2022 when it comes to the women's division. It comes to Mercedes Moné and Toni Storm. It's like you can't let you can't after all this trouble you went to build Toni Storm yourself. Like that's your homegrown project, like your thing that you made together.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fuck that up. Like, that can't just go down to the outsider that came in and it would be the perfect story for Tony Storm to pin Mercedes here. Like, that puts a stamp on you, AEW. This is AEW. Like, this is what we have to offer. I always thought that Hangman should have pinned CM Punk because of that. Beyond all fucking personal issues, I thought, objectively, you spent 2 years building this guy.
Yeah.
You should have pinned the outsider to say, this is what we have to offer. And then afterwards, you can give him the belt. And it doesn't fucking matter anymore. It's fine.
And I think there are scenarios that make sense, but like, as an example, I think Hangman should have beat Punk the first time. I think Joe should have beat Angle.
Yeah.
I get Jericho beating Hangman the first time.
That made all the sense in the world.
Because you wanted to start off the TV show with the hot WWE talent that people would gravitate to.
And it kicked off his whole fucking story arc for Hangman. And spiraling into alcoholism.
Well, I don't think we were quite ready for that part of it yet, but yeah.
It works very well in a 3-hour YouTube video when you watch it all at once.
I think a lot of things do. But I think in this scenario, like, you can't just have like Mercedes literally wheelbarrow the entire women's division.
That and fucking, I just don't want to see Tony Storm lose right now. Come on,
That's
like,
fair.
come on, really?
And
Like, right
that was the
now?
one thing we definitely said last week, where it's like, it's so rare to have the babyface champion this over.
Yeah, yes, absolutely, 100%. And like, this is perfect too. Everything about this is perfect. We'll see. A lot of things are lined up for this All-In show to deliver on another level. Like, if they hit all the right marks, like, if you book this just the right way, like, you will create a very fucking satisfying wrestling event, like, all the way through. We'll see, man. But we also got some cool stuff that I love. I fucking love this crossover Superman Dynamite shit they were doing. They did video segments. The first one we got was Tony Storm and Lois. And Lois
That makes sense.
tells Tony Storm, I used to be a wrestler.
Especially when Tony's still on her fucking detective shit.
Yeah, no, and Tony is like, she tries to create like a name for her, like, what was your name? And she says some fancy shit, but it was like, it was just Rachel. Like, it was I was a wrestler, because I guess she did high school wrestling.
I was gonna say she wrestled at school. That's cool.
Yeah. But right? That's weird. What the fuck was Rachel doing wrestling? What the fuck? With the boys? Like, how does that work? I don't want my daughter wrestling. They gotta put a finger in her ass. Like, get the fuck out of here. I seen what you fucking do.
There are schools that have girls' teams.
I guess. I don't see that shit. I guess. No, there's one of the wrestlers on NXT who came from there, right? The girl? The one that was on LFG? The girl that was on LFG? The Olympic girl?
The Olympian? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, one of those other girls came from the Olympian, John?
What Olympian? Suni Lee? Suni Young?
Go
I like
fuck
her.
yourself.
I love her. But no. Dynamite 300, like I said, we followed that Tony Storm Lois segment with this Mercedes match, and then follow that Mercedes match with another video crossover thing from Superman and Kenny Omega, who is like, I feel like a superhero with this cape, and Superman's like, well, I feel like a champion with this title. And I was just like, this is the coolest shit ever. like, this is awesome. And then MJF and
So is he gonna have Superman tights at all?
He better. No, I guess it's a different moment. It's a bigger moment than that. No time for brand synergy at all. And this is Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada. But the MJF is with Nicholas Holt at Lex Luthor, and they're like, oh, they give fucking losers capes, and then Nicholas Holt's like, oh, they give fucking dickheads championships, like villain stuff. So it's just cool seeing like MJF with Lex Luthor, and Lex is like, I like this guy. And I was like, this is cool as fuck. This is so much cooler than the crossover comics. As much as those things you would think they would appeal to me For some reason, they don't.
You
Like,
didn't care for the AEW comic books?
Because fucking Superman wasn't in it. Like, why would I want to read a comic book about Will Ospreay? This is dumb. Now, Will Ospreay meets Superman. Will Ospreay joins the Justice League? Sure. Fine. That's cool.
As someone who read those WWE comics, they were shockingly decent at like fleshing out the Seth Rollins Shield storyline.
See, I got negative interest in a comic like that. Like, I need, if you're gonna make like a crossover DC, AEW, WWE, Marvel comic, like I need John Cena to meet motherfucking Spider-Man. Like, why isn't this happening? Like, this is crazy. Like when John Cena shows up in the Scooby-Doo movie, that's funny. That makes me smile.
Okay.
But anyway, this was awesome for me. I was like, I didn't know I needed this. This is cool as fuck. We got Kenny Omega wearing Superman's cape. That's a render, folks. That's real. Where'd that come from? The time Kenny was with Superman on Dynamite. That happened. And so you also get the Superman branding all around, which is already cool. It was good. This was a little bit lazier than the last time. They were like, yeah, they brought out LED so that they can just run the Superman poster in the background. When they did the DC,
that's the LED stuff, yeah.
But when they did the DC All In, it was like real fucking replastered the fucking barricades with real stamps, and it was like really Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. I was like, that shit was beautiful. This one was cool, not as beautiful.
It was funny, actually. I saw a clip, and I was like, I imagined you just sort of like shriveling at the idea of it all. They were like between, I guess, tapings or whatever. So they're just sitting there watching the giant LED screens, and it just switches from Raw to SmackDown.
Oh my god!
It's like, new show.
There's your stage shift. God, shoot me now. But yeah, we followed that up with a fatal four-way.
It saves them so much money on setup, Joe.
Oh god, I don't want to die. We got the fatal four-way to decide who's going to be number 2 in the Casino Gauntlet, and who's going to face Mark Briscoe. MJF versus Brody King versus AR Fox versus Anthony Bowens. Love seeing AR Fox on TV. Good stuff. MJF does commentary for a little while.
Fight Swerve again.
Maybe. Well, no, probably not soon.
Probably not.
But yeah, he does a little commentary. It's kind of funny. He kind of makes fun of Excalibur the way he says Tope con Hilo. He's like, Tope con Hilo. But MJF does win, and it was kind of projected. This was an easy one to predict because he was the only one who had beef with Mark Briscoe. Due to the unique
kosher
nature, MJF has a tiny kosher pickle. But due to the way that Casino Royale, Casino Gauntlet works, I think it's interesting to build that match off of the feud of the two guys who are going to be number 1 and 2. Like WWE Rumbles used to do that. We need that again. I like that. But they also used to have like multiple stories going into it. Like, we know this guy hates this guy, and they're both going to be in the Rumble. Like, their payoff wasn't a match. It was going to happen like in the Rumble, and then they might wrestle again at WrestleMania type thing.
I think there was a Rumble a few years ago that actually did a really good job at telling all those mini stories inside of the giant Rumble thing, and I was like, that's hard to do, but good job.
Yeah. You think AEW did one battle royale like that once, and I remember being like stupid impressed, like, holy shit, what the fuck was that? I never enjoyed a battle royale like that, and they never did one like that again. Like, where's the guy who booked that? Bring him back.
Personally, I think the greatest Royal Rumble moment ever is so singular that people don't. I think it's easy to forget that it's a Royal Rumble moment, which is just the one where where Austin's just in the ring and waiting for my next guy or whatever, and then Brett's music hits. He just does the.
That's actually when you do it, I instantly get the fucking flash of the image, And that's why
And
we
then
need
Brett
more
walking down
highlight
just like, I'm
videos.
coming for you, motherfucker.
That's exactly why we need more highlight videos. 'Cause look at that. Look at how immediate I remember that fucking them steely blue eyes. Like, whoa, whoa. Like,
What was that sound?
that's what Stone Cold sounds like when he's surprised.
Oh
Oh no. But yeah, I did like that. So MJF and Mark Briscoe will be opening the Casino Gauntlet. I
no!
think
Okay.
we got reports. Excuse me. We got reports that Darby Allin's return to AEW is imminent. Imminent. He came
Can it
off
be less
Mount.
imminent?
He came off of Mount. Fucking Everest. I ran through so many. I was like Rushmore, Fuji, Everest, Everest. Okay. Kilimanjaro. No, he came off of Everest with apparently no damage. They were like, he's like, I'm good to go. Which I imagine the Darby that's not actually real. Like I just
And
think
now he's
just
on
saying
some
it.
other show.
Yeah, the Shark Week thing.
Yeah.
They thought he would be available by the Owen Cup, but he wasn't. And I'm just like,
Good.
I don't know what you guys think. Listen, I like Darby Allin a lot. I think there was a moment, and then I think he went to go climb a fucking mountain. And the moment belongs to someone else now. So we can circle the Darby a different way. In a perfect world, Darby can be the one to finally dismantle the Death Riders at like the next pay-per-view. Like Moxley versus Darby doesn't need a fucking belt. You know, they can do whatever they need to do after. Like,
I mean, if they want to beat the shit out of each other, I'm fine with that. I don't see Darby as like a main event guy.
I think there's in the same way that 2008 Jeff Hardy could have been the main event guy if they had faith in it, except he was a crash out, and Triple H did call that one, unfortunately.
I was gonna say they were right not to.
He's like, I know, whatever. You gonna put the belt on him? I'm not getting pinned. Wait, Hunter. No, not me. All right. But Dynamite 300, we get back to that. We followed that up with the Hurt Syndicate came out for MJF, but then they got attacked by Mike Bailey and Kevin Knight, who quickly got their ass beat because the Hurt Syndicate don't sell for nobody. And so Kevin Knight says, shouting your mama must have he said, shouting your mama must have told you how to fight because you hit like a bitch. And challenges Shelton to a match this Saturday on Collision. Shelton Benjamin versus Kevin Knight. Actually,
I've seen that super kick. I wouldn't say shit like that.
I'm down though. Sounds real good. Good stuff. It seems like that might be their match at All In. And if it is, that's gonna be somebody's piss freak. That's fucked up. Don't do that. That's fucked up. You gotta put him on the Collision before, like the SmackDown with all the holdover matches.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we followed that up with a Superman-sponsored 6-man tag match. The Young Bucks and Konosuke Takeshita versus Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Bandito. Full on PWG match. To the point where Bandito even tweeted afterwards, like, PWG legends. Picture him, Kyle, and Roddy, who are, I think, all PWG world champions, former. Yeah, they definitely are. But this match was like full on, and they were in California, and it's the Young Bucks, and it's Rick Knox, and Konosuke Takeshita actually also got to work a couple PWG shows towards the end of its run. So pretty much everybody in this ring has come from and worked PWG, and they then had an entire match pretty much dedicated to that style. In California, not far from the Young Bucks' home, which they did play several vignettes throughout the night of the Young Bucks returning to their home and being like, ugh, this is all poor now. We're bad guys. They bought a limo with Tony Khan's credit card.
We're bad guys.
They stole the company card, bought a limo, bought Jordans. No, because they're EVPs, right? So it's not stealing. They must be stopped, Greg. They must be stopped. That's why Will Ospreay here. They're gonna save AEW as well. Everyone's
Gotta
gonna get a
stop him,
moment.
bruv.
All the heels are going down. This has got to be a big feel good show. There's no move. There's no time. All the heels right now have had their time in the light. Mercedes gotta go down. Bucks gotta go down. Moxley gotta go down. Fuck it. Her syndicate gotta go down too. No.
I was gonna say what about her syndicate?
Yo, Bobby, it's time to take that bump. Time to come on.
Wow.
Give him one. No. give him one good one. Oh shit.
That's harsh.
Nah, they I don't know. We'll see. I think they're in a holding place, and I don't know what comes after, and I don't know why they're in that place. I have my theories, but I don't want them to be right. So I'm still waiting to get more evidence. Hopefully, in the other direction. Because I don't want it to be that they're in a holding place because they don't want to participate. Like I don't want it to be like, but Bobby, we need you to get this rematch on Swerve. Like you put him to sleep. Shouldn't he get a win on you too? And he's like, I don't think so. It's like, so you know what? You can be tag champion in the corner over here. You know, like I hope that's certainly not the situation that we're in. And I'm not saying that we are, but I know there's a lot of people that think that. And I'm like, let's wait. Like, let's see. Like, this might not be. Maybe there's plans and they're just waiting until there's room for them. Like, let's see. Maybe. At the moment, we sacrificed the tag division for this, and I'm not a fan of that, especially considering all the things this company was originally founded on. But I digress.
In that case, which never came to fruition.
No, because we were this close and you pussied the fuck out. They came to the mountaintop and turned away from it on purpose. You'll never not be disappointed. Never. God damn it. Anyway. Yeah, the Hurt Syndicate. Like I said, hopefully they play ball. They're nice guys. Anyway. Like we said earlier, the Young Bucks and Konosuke Takeshita win this 6-man tag match. And then they go to beat down the baby faces, but Swerve and Ospreay come out, save them. Bucks get out of there. Swerve and Ospreay grab a mic and they say, "You haven't answered our challenge. Maybe it's because we haven't given up enough. If we lose, we won't be able to challenge for the world championship for 1 year." And Swerve is like, "What the fuck are you talking about? I didn't agree to that." And the Bucks say, "It doesn't look like Swerve is okay with that. I think you guys should talk it out." And so they do. And Swerve agrees.
He's like, they don't listen to this dude. I don't know what he's talking about.
But he does agree. And so the challenge is set. Banishment from the world title scene versus EVP titles. They say they're going to take the EVP titles, but not for themselves. They want to give it to the fans. Want the fans to be EVPs again.
How cute.
I thought so. I thought that was a very heavy-handed way to try to clear something up that people were confused about. Like, is it for the EVP titles? Is it changing hands like a belt? Like, no, you dummy. Forgot it was a pro wrestling crowd. You got to feed them. They don't do subtext. Anyway, Swerve and Ospreay are taking on Beast Muertos and Dralistico in another Superman-sponsored Heroes versus Villains match.
What is a Dralistico?
Oh, gosh. You're going to make me pull up the Wikipedia.
I just want to know what is like, I understand what a Mystico is. What is a Dralistico?
When you Google it, it doesn't come up as any real word. It just comes up as his name. And I think Dralistico is just meant to be, it's meant to sound like Mystico because he did, Well, yeah, because Dralistico was a legally distinct Mystico for legal reasons. Okay, so just to clear it up, Dralistico was the original Dragon Lee. And then
Yeah.
Mystico left to WWE.
And then Dragon Lee decided to be good.
Wait, fuck! You're gonna confuse them. Shut up. Wait, okay. Jalistica was the original Dragon Lee. And then Mystico went to WWE and became Sin Cara. So they gave Dragon Lee the mask and the ring name of Mystico. And the name Dragon Lee was passed to his brother, who we know as Dragon Lee today in the WWE. And so Mystico leaves the WWE and he becomes Carastico because of this Mystico. But
Caristico.
Or Caristico. And so Mystico gets his name back, and this one becomes Dralistico, who he is today. And that's your Lucha Lore segment of the evening.
We'll try to get back to them.
We will. I've been watching a lot of CMLL lately, man. Those viernes at the arena are fucking awesome. I was like, yo, they do this shit every week.
I'm just glad they don't do the noisemakers anymore.
No, you don't hear a lot of those.
That one asshole in the crowd would ruin shows for me.
I think those are interesting sounds because they sound so different from American shows. I really like things like that.
They're different, but they're not good.
It reminds me of the people that get mad at the crowds that try to get themselves over. Like it sometimes. I think if you keep going back to the same place all the time, like Full Sail, then it becomes like a problem.
Do you have an opinion on the Kyle match?
I like that. I thought it was cute. Listen, those fucking people were sitting at the ass end of a 5-hour taping, and they had the energy to find some fun like that. I commend them. Actually,
I thought, who's the bald one?
Kyle Fletcher.
I thought Fletcher was poorly handled to play into it the way he did.
he was just out there young, not knowing any better. He should have been playing it down, I guess. My name isn't even Kyle. It's Christopher.
He was playing into it. I was like, no, be the heel.
But honestly, at that, like I said, at that point in time, for the spot they were in, like, I think he made the right choice. I think keeping those people engaged at that moment was the right move. Like, they would have been dead.
I mean, in my experience, I think rejecting it just spurns them further.
They will fire at that time. Like, they might just go to sleep. Like, it's like fucking 1 a.m. and shit. But also they did a post thing where Bryan Danielson comes out and he names himself Kyle Danielson.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's really cool. I liked all that shit. I thought that was it involves Bryan. Bryan who keeps on coming back to the ring. I'm like, people are like, is he coming back? I'm like, I'm sure he didn't even ask a doctor. He's just there. Somebody stop him. He famously talks about how hard it is for him to stay out of the ring when he's around wrestling. And I know, I can see it. I'm like, I know. Look at him. He's out there hitting his running knee. You know that is a bump, right? You know you shouldn't be doing those, right?
That's an impact, sir. Like the label lock would be one thing. That's easy.
I was gonna say, why can't you just put him in your submission? Do you have to bump? Is that like it? It's because he wants to feel it. He wants to crack in the mat under him. Like that's an addiction.
Sir, you have a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem. I think it should help him. I do think, like you said, the way that the Death Rider story has gone, if it's gonna come to an end, at least like the biggest part of it, if the climax is gonna happen here, and this is gonna be the end before whatever last scene they're gonna have, the little epilogue for the end of them as a faction, then it probably should involve pretty much everyone that they
the entire AEW locker. Oh yeah, mostly AEW locker.
Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, that might not include Private Party, who are the people that kicked this off.
Ooh.
They are
segue.
Contracts are coming up, and them and Danhausen. And it doesn't look like they're going to be re-signing. That wasn't part of the report. That's my own observation.
Yeah.
They haven't been on television since they lost the tag team championships. I wonder if within that time they've been negotiated with. I don't know if they even got approached with an offer, if they've been let to expire. I think that if they were negotiated with, they'd be smart to turn it down.
I agree.
I think they'd be smarter to go to NXT and apply their trade over there because learn from Daniel Garcia is what I would say. That's your boy. Yeah,
Interesting.
you're cool. You're cool with him. He made what I thought was originally the right decision, and he thought was the right decision, I'm sure. And he chose AEW and he stuck it out, and they gave him a title and they threw him in the corner. Here, go over there.
Right. Which is more than what they gave you.
Yeah, no, the private party, they got a belt. They got forced to give a belt because they were in a spot where they were like, oh shit. Oh, I didn't realize they were that over. Give it to them. And then they didn't follow up. Did nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing significant with him. And then they dropped the belts in like a real unimpressive fashion of Bobby Lashley and Shawn Benjamin, who I am already suspicious of. I think more Bobby than Shawn. I feel like Shawn is probably more willing to play ball. I feel like just based on his Continental Classic performances. Like I don't think Bobby Lashley's running the
and his
Continental
Ring of
Classic.
Honor performance.
And his Ring of Well, of course, we got to see, Shelton outside of WWE, and he's already lived that life.
Yeah.
But Bobby outside of WWE and TNA, he got treated like the biggest guy, one of the biggest guys
I was
there.
gonna say we've seen him outside of WWE, but yeah.
I was gonna say when he went to TNA, they treated him like God for like the whole time he was there. Almost like he was silly. Sometimes he had the top American top team. He had the fucking title.
Yeah.
Headband. Bobby was a demon.
Which apparently was funny because he was a one-off replacement.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I forgot what it was for, but like somebody could make it, and I think somebody reached out to Bobby, maybe it was Kurt or whatever, and then like they just kept calling him back, and it became the thing.
I'll do it for you, Kurt.
I think MVP talks about how like the situation might have supposed to have been him and Kurt, and then he took a back seat where Bobby was the guy wrestling and he was the guy managing.
That's cool that they got that career-long relationship like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of like a like a Heyman Lesnar thing going on. But,
yeah, they've basically done business together now in all three companies, right?
Yeah, and honestly, WWE had such a home run with them. Like one of the best things Vince did in his senile era, which is what we're gonna refer to that as, is giving Bobby Lashley the belt. I also think in his senile era, Bobby Lashley was like the biggest guy that walked out of the locker room. He was like, "I'm giving the belt to him. All these 5'11" guys are taking over my company. I'm giving Bobby the belt."
I love him to death. I feel bad about the fact that I think MVP is quite bitter about that era.
He should be. He's bitter about the way it happened, like because the shift was obvious. Vince saw Bobby as a main event guy. Triple H did not.
No, so even before that, I think there was the idea that like, that the Hurt Business were the guys holding down the program during the pandemic.
They were certainly one of them. Them, Drew McIntyre, like MVPs. Right,
and then when everybody started coming back, it was like, okay, you guys can.
Drew as well too.
Yeah. Drew was that's right. That was the whole thing, right? That Drew was holding down the whole place with the belt, and then like, oh, we got everyone back. You can go over there, buddy.
But they gave Drew back, his spot. And he stuck around. I don't think they would have given it back to Lashley. I don't know.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, his trajectory wasn't going the way Drew's was. He was stuck in mid-card bullshit. Which was so
funny because those two ended up being like it's actually kind of funny that you say that because like they were the guys that they got put together right once everyone came back.
Yep. That was the one. Now you guys go out there.
Drew and Bobby.
Go out there and have your match. Was it for the title? It was for the title. It was, right?
It was, and it was match 1.
Yeah. God, man, that's why they come to AEW with fucking PTSD, like, and then you gotta get therapy for this motherfucker now. Like, this is what happens. This is exactly what happens. Like, stop picking up these rehab projects. Let him do some time on the outside. Like, you should have let him run the New Japan circuit assignment first. Like, let him humble himself first before he comes up in here talking about I'm scared to lose because all he had me do was lose over there. Like,
do you think there's an AEW main event run for Bobby Lashley?
There could have been. I think there could have been. I think if I really, Yeah, operating on this idea. Like I don't know, I don't know for sure. Yeah, it's just a theory.
Obviously, we're just bullshit.
Theory. But I think that there's certainly a place for Bobby Lashley in the main event. At least in the beginning, like at least first a fucking big Hangman match. Assuming
I was
Hangman
gonna
is
say,
gonna
do
be
you
champion.
want to see him lose the Hangman on this run?
I feel like that would be a good trial to see what the fuck Bobby Lashley's willing to do while he works here. We gave you a main event on pay-per-view. All you gotta do is take an L here, and we'll run it back another time, and you'll have a better main event situation. I'm willing to play ball if you're willing to play ball. And it's like it works. Like losing to Hangman in the main event of the pay-per-view, what the fuck is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? You know? No, that's huge. When they said that was Rusev's problem, I immediately gave up on him. Oh, Rusev doesn't want to work with the guy you're clearly having almost at the top of the card? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, Rusev, big CM Punk fan. Oh, shit. No, I'm fucking it out. That's not. It was pre CM Punk anyway.
Woof.
Yeah. No. So I think there's definitely a place for Bobby Lashley in the main event. I think you could do it this fall. I think he could have a big ass Full Gear main event 1 year after his Full Gear debut match. It would work. But but going back to Dynamite, Swerve and Ospreay debuted a combination finisher, Swerve Stomp, Stormbreaker. That shit was crazy. But the thing that made me laugh was they didn't finish the match with it. They just killed Bruce Muertos and he left. And then they killed Dralistico with another combination move that was much less impactful. I was like, why didn't you fucking end the match with the other cool one?
What was the less impactful?
It was like a hidden blade or one of Ospreay's moves that left Dralistico sitting up so that Swerve can hit the
house call.
Kick. Yeah, the house call. And I was like, well, that's fucking this sucks. Why didn't you just finish with that cool ass combination Swerve Stomp Stormbreaker? That was incredible. And then we had the main event, which was this was scary for me. I was nervous. Kota Ibushi versus Kazuchika Okada. I was like, God, is Ibushi washed? No, please no. He was so slow when he came back the first time, Greg.
I mean,
he was so chunky.
I was gonna say, look at his body comparison.
No, for sure. Like that was a big thing too. When he came back last week and Collision, you saw his body. It was like, okay, he slimmed down. He took rehab seriously. Somebody put some work in. His fucking abs are abbing. And he comes out now for this match, and admittedly, like if you watched Okada versus Ibushi before watching this new version, you would be like, damn, they're moving slower. But age, it's age and time. And when Omega and Okada run that shit in
age and miles.
And miles. So when Omega and Okada run that shit, that's what you better expect too. I mean, I'm telling you, temper them expectations, and you will have a great time.
Oh yeah.
I hope you don't. I know this is gonna be a great match, but I'm not expecting them to deliver the greatest match of all time again.
Yeah.
The
only time I've ever been just upset because I knew they had better in them was AJ and Shinsuke.
Oh, the WrestleMania. Yeah. Well, shit, that's heartbreaking. That was broken because we've seen that.
Like it wasn't like, they put this match on a few years ago and they're broken now. It's like, no.
Not yet.
Like,
anyway.
AJ still had several years left. I mean, Shinsuke had just came off like that Sami Zayn performance.
I don't think this is definitely not gonna. If it's an underperformance for whatever reason, it certainly won't be that. It'll be because somebody's old.
But again, that's what I mean. Like, it won't be because they're broken already.
The thing that makes me comfortable with knowing that it's still going to be great is that they're both still individually great. Like Kenny Omega still has a match of the year contender right now in 2025 as we speak. Him and Gabe Kidd is still happened on January 4th. Still might not have been surpassed. Okay, like that still might be the match of the year. And I know for a lot of people it still is. For me, I got to debate because I've seen a couple contenders. I've seen a couple contenders.
It's a great match, but I'm not sure.
the Stardom matches are sitting on top of me. Maybe I don't know. I gotta go because I also really liked Anarchy in the Arena this year. Like that was
Y'all hating on them
so
Joshis.
it was so fun. And also that incredible what the fuck that death match I watched this weekend. I watched Jun Kasai versus El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship over the weekend from the Deathmatch Invitational.
Yeah.
From June 21st, I want to say.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima of Metal Gear Solid was there, and Death Stranding.
I'm not nearly surprised.
He was there, but he's talked about his father loved Jun Kasai, and he also loves Jun Kasai. I was like, gosh, man, I love that he has that. I know you and Nick had like legacy wrestling family members. Like I didn't have that. Like nobody gave it to me. I found that shit on the street with everybody else, and I didn't let go of it when everybody else did. But I pass it to my son, which is cool. So he'll be able to be like, my dad used to fucking love this guy. And I was like, that's me.
Yay!
Yay!
What was I thinking? There were some people. I saw there were some people who were looking at Mystico and Bandito.
That match was fucking awesome. Mystico and Bandito was awesome. Mystico, they had a tag match the week before. Mystico and Mascara Dorada versus Bandito and Hologram. That was outstanding. And then Bandito and Mascara Dorada had another one that was just like outstanding. It was like, what the fuck is in the water in Arena Mexico? This is awesome.
I don't hate the hologram gimmick. I feel like people do.
I don't know who hates hologram. If you hate hologram, we have problems. It is so simple, right? Like we got a luchador and we decided, well, what
we
if
put shiny lights on him?
What if we made our own and we made him glow? And it's a glowing luchador. Thank God, he's easy as shit you ever sold to me because he moves good. He moves so good. He's such a good luchador. He moves good. I saw him in person, him versus Beast Morditos. They did a 2 out of 3 falls match, real lucha shit. I was like, what? It was incredible. It was awesome. He was Aremas.
Okay, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
He used to work PWG. I discovered a lot of the luchadors in PWG over the late 10s, like 2010s. Yeah, late 2010s.
I discovered them exactly what you would expect. Fantastic Mania.
No, I was not that old. But you know what?
What do you mean that old?
No, I thought you were gonna say When Worlds Collide.
No, God, no, Jesus Christ.
No, I was gonna say.
I've never seen that whole show. I've only seen the big tag match.
I had bad lucha experiences. Okay,
I've had plenty of bad lucha experiences.
For the longest time, I was trying to watch lucha, and I would watch Triple Mania. It's called Triple Mania. It seems like the Lucha WrestleMania. It seems like the place you would want to start to watch lucha. So I would watch lucha, and Triple Mania would routinely be the worst fucking thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I remember one year I was with my friends. This was 2018 Triple Mania. It's the famous one with Vampiro. Hit my music.
Play my fucking music.
We were watching that live. Bro. That show was a wreck way before Banditos hit my music. Yeah, it was a wreck in the pre-show. I mean, Vampiro. Vampiro he fucking farted into his fucking mic once. Things got silent. The best match on the car was a complete car crash. It was just people almost dying.
Fucking Striker doing his best to cover up this entire show.
Oh my God, it was a wreck. And so when in New Japan would be like, it's Fantastic Mania tour, I'd be like, all right, tune in out. I'll be back in March.
See, I didn't feel the same way, partly because, one, I knew there was a difference between CMLL and AAA, but also because, like, in my experience, all the lucha guys that I liked worked really well in Japan.
I just hadn't,
like Dr. Wagner Jr. Like, I got into him because I saw him in New Japan. I was like, oh, some of these guys can go.
See, I didn't have
Wasn't
no
sure.
recommendations. Nobody was putting me on either. Fantastica Mania matches would get largely ignored after Wrestle Kingdom. All the American sites would be like moving on, and
Well, yeah. Well, so like the Dr. Wagner stuff I saw was it was pre-Fantastica Mania era. It was more like Best of the Super Juniors,
oh shit, nice.
where they would bring the luchadors in for some of those.
That's I gotta go backwards for that. But
Yeah.
shit, where were we? Oh yeah, this main event, the final thing on Dynamite. Ibushi and Okada over delivered. I thought, because I was scared that Ibushi was gonna die, so I had my expectations set to 0, and they actually came to really wrestle. And at one point, fucking Ibushi, they did run a few of the hits. The story of the match was just Okada trying to get it done. Like the Okada's character in AEW is him just trying to get it done and leave. If you are a jobber or if you lower on a card, he can get it done and leave. He'll just hit
Which
you.
is
with a
another
Rainmaker
thing
and
that I
leave.
think is interesting in a sense. Like if that's the story, I feel like a lot of people are taking it as if that's just lazy Okada.
I was like, oh, but you don't know him. I'm sorry. Let me explain. I'm familiar with him, as this has pretty much always been his story. Like that's just the way he works. If he can beat you, he will beat you and leave. And he thinks he's above you already when he comes into this ring. It doesn't matter who you are. If you don't prove yourself to him in that ring with your ability, you don't matter. And it comes across that way in AEW. He thinks he's above this entire company. And if you put him in the ring with somebody lower on the card, he'll pin them and leave. And if they fight back, he'll get a little impressed and it'll be a little interesting, but he'll kill them and leave. The higher on the card you get, the more skill that they have, the more desperate Okada has to get to defend himself and his belt, and the more compelling the matches get. And then I think you got the ultimate version of that when he ran into his old rival, Will Ospreay. And that's when I think for the first time in AEW, you got the full Okada experience. And it was like, holy shit. And I think that when he wrestles Kenny Omega again at All In, you're going to get a similar situation to that, where it's like, we're going to get the full Okada experience. As much as it exists now, whatever ultimate, optimal, 1000% version of Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada that still exists will be brought out. And this will probably be the last one, the last time that they give it out. You know, you like two super powered beings at the end of their rope. Like in Dragon Ball lore, Goku and Vegeta, when they're old, they go to a planet and they fight and die.
So many people.
They fight and die because they're fucking old. They're powerful. They're like, we're going to die. Let's go fight and blow up. We'll go die together. And they do. They fight to the death. They put it all out one last time and they die. I think Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada are about to do some shit. I think they're going to Supernova. And I don't know what's going to come out the other side. But, you know, I think that's what we're going to get. So
I guess that's an interesting situation in the sense that, like, I certainly believe this is the last of like Omega's powers, but like everyone's gonna put the contract on the pedestal and be like, what was this signing for when it comes to Okada?
This selling
just the
this
one match?
No, I mean, obviously you've gotten, like, he's here. This is what it's led to. After this, he becomes of course, I'm assuming this seems to be like he might be the only heel that has a case of winning his match. Like, because Omega is kind of, I think, closer to I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why, but for some reason I get these vibes like Kenny is probably closer to the end than Okada is. I don't know why. Maybe the diverticulitis makes me underestimate him.
Sure.
But I also think that
the various other injuries.
I also think that Kenny is the guy who should put over Okada. Fine, like this is the ultimate one who should give Okada that ultimate victory over an AEW guy. This is who you should run with now if you're going to treat this new belt, as they say, with as much significance as they could, because I don't think it's possible to give both world championship significance, but they swear they will. And I was like, that's a tall task, but we'll see.
I think that's always been the big problem coming in, is the idea that like the what they were sold is that they signed this one of a kind legendary star and then he was never booked that way.
I think he was. I think he absolutely was. I think you can point to multiple matches. I just think the most full version of Okada that you've gotten so far was against Will Ospreay, because he is literally unable to do that performance all the time. And if you can't, I mean, that's just math. I don't, even in Japan, we've talked about this forever. Even in Japan, that's just math. You do not get like fucking, he did 700 days.
Sure.
And in those 700 days, even still, how many defenses was it? 20, 12, 20, 12? Was it 12, 13 defenses in 700 days? In between those defenses, let's say if you got 13 full power Kazuchika Okada performances, you got 27 baby ones. Like he was, this is essentially the same structure that he has here. It just kind of added a context to it. It is what it is. You get Okada versus Pac, and then you get Okada versus fucking. No, I mean, he's not 720-day champion. He's not the main event guy. But this is what it was for. We said it when he got here. They gave him this placeholder belt. They put him here. He's been defending it.
I think the placeholder belt is what makes it worse in a lot of people's minds.
I'm saying
it was a placeholder belt.
I'm saying that, but I don't agree that people actually feel that way. I think
a lot of people did.
You're all wrong. I think I think when I say placeholder belt, I literally mean we need a visual indication that this is someone we value. But we can't put him in the main event right now because we have things in place. Yeah. And that is always an issue with AEW, where sometimes they have things in place and they get something and they're like, I don't know what to do with this right now. I'm going to put this. And it just disappears from television. But there was an effort made. They placed it in the
There should be a little more signing discipline in that company.
I think we got to a place. I think we got to a good place. I think there's people. I think we slipped up for Bobby Lashley. No, maybe he slipped up. I don't know. I don't know yet. I'm just saying. But this Okada thing, I think we made an effort to say we need a visual indicator that this is a guy we value. He's going to be on television. We want him belted. We want him hanging with the Young Bucks. We want him as part of the Elite. We want it set up from the beginning, from day one. Kenny Omega was an endpoint. He's taking your spot in the Elite. I think you're a bitch. I don't think you're the best wrestler in the world anymore. And it's been circling to the end of this chapter 1, where Okada, presumably, I really think it only makes sense for him to be crowned the unified champion. The first AEW unified champion, and go on a run of main event Okada matches. This should be the start of Gear 2, if in a perfect world. Because as that unified champion, now you want to establish this new belt, and you want to give it prestige. And who better? Who better on earth, actually, to give a brand new world championship prestige than Okada in a main event-esque position?
Sure.
And that's where we are now tonight. Okada pins Kota Ibushi. They're going to jump him, but Kenny Omega makes the save. The Golden Lovers are reunited. Love is in the air. If we can fit in Omega Ibushi versus Takeshi Okada next week, that'd be sweet. If you guys think maybe they need to rest, I understand. I get it. I understand. But we only got 1 week left until All In. 1 week of shows left. I mean, I guess you got Collision on Saturday, but then you only have Dynamite and I imagine one Collision. Oh yeah, it is. It's scheduled. They got the residency in the whatever arena that is.
The esports thing? Or the...
Dallas? No, I think it's a regular arena this time. But yeah, good Dynamite. The road to All In is roading. We're driving. I think AEW's firing all cylinders right now. I think they're killing it. I think that the way this All In show ends is going to make or break the rest of the year. We're
I
halfway
mean,
in.
there are a lot of people who keep parroting the whole like there's no future beyond Mox winning.
If Mox wins, I think you think you like you stuck a needle in your balloon, like you popped. Like this would be
Yeah.
the way you've taken it too far now. Like you got heat, you get heat, and you've built it to a place where the people are ready. They want to pay to see Jon Moxley lose.
Or some people just wanted to be over. I guess it depends which attitude we're talking about.
Anybody who still thinks that way is one, outdated, and two, probably just I'm just not even taking them seriously anymore. I think the story has hit a stride that is undeniable now. And if you can still deny it, I don't think you're paying attention, or you just don't want to like it, which is that's fine. Some people don't want to like Jon Moxley forever. Plumber, stupid Jim Cornette isms that you always hear, the bald and plumber stuff. Like, okay.
I don't know anything about those.
I don't. Yeah, no, that's for sure. But also, it's familiar. Yeah, I don't think. I think at this point, you want the bad guy to lose. Most of this fans, the way they react on television, the way they're talking online, it's in unison. It's not always that. That's not always the case. I do see.
I think there's a difference sometimes between like wanting a program to end and be like wanting the hero to prevail.
I don't think this is people wanting the program to end, because you hear it. You hear, we don't want Darby Allin. I don't care if Darby Allin is here. We want Hangman to win this belt. Hangman needs to win this title at All In. This needs to happen. Jon Moxley needs to lose is just not the conversation I'm hearing. I'm hearing Hangman needs to win. I also know that you don't like Hangman, so I'm trying to not taking this from you, Greg. No.
What do you mean?
No, I'm kidding. I'm just fucking around. No, I just think I did see like people were talking about this fucking Death Rider angle, like it's the Midnight Riders. And I was just like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. The damn Copeland thing.
I mean, I've not been a fan of the gimmick since the beginning.
Yeah, no, I never agreed with that. I just knew that it got aimless when fucking Edge and FTR were involved. I was like, why is Edge here? And I realized they lost their focus. That Darby Allin should do him for a ride. I was like, why would you give the performer the option to do that? Like, why is he allowed to do that? Yeah, I've seen it almost in three stages. That first stage where it was supposed to be about youth and Darby Allin was clearly the end point. That second stage where Jay White and Christian and
oh jeez,
and Adam Copeland and FTR were involved. They lost their focus and they were trying to figure out how to get there. And then you got this third, which is where we are now, this third stage where you have a defined force against the Death Riders that consists of main eventers or people that are on the top of the card or people that you want on the top of the card. With Hangman,
sure.
Swerve, fucking Osprey, Kenny Omega, who the people that Willow Nightingale, who's benefited from her fucking interactions with Marina Shafir and Mox and that. And I really think she should be fucking champion already. I mean, we're playing games with her. But
I said a few weeks ago, like Willow Nightingale is like your, like I get it, Tony Storm, but like I think Willow Nightingale is like the next, top babyface of that company.
Yeah, no, for sure, 100%.
And like, you won't have any of the other conversations with her. Like Willow Nightingale looks like a homegrown talent as far as anyone's concerned.
I mean, pretty much, she pretty much is.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another time. I think there's ways to get there where everybody can win. But as of right now, I mean, with this Death Rider story, as we reach this ending, and people like, all the people I just named, except for Kenny, who kind of split off into his own thing. But
Yeah.
it really helped. It really helped being involved in that Anarchy in the Arena thing. Like that really helped. That was really good. It helped seeing him getting involved and want to save the company too. It made people that matter. I remember in the beginning that was one of the things. I was like,
It's a
"Fuck,
shame
we
it
need more."
ruined Gabe Kidd.
Gabe. I don't know how we. Oh yeah, because the Eddie Kingston thing. I guess they wanted to. They thought they were getting Eddie Kingston, and Doctor said no. And it's like, damn, why you weren't ready for that?
Feel like you should be. I feel like Eddie should have been cleared before you made that call.
Right? They were like, no, we got it. We got this. Doctor's gonna clear him day of. Sorry, buddy. God damn it.
And like even then, like the Eddie Kingston thing never even came up in my mind because it had been so long. I was like, I assumed he was just here to fuck with Tanahashi.
Nah, the only thing I thought of was like Eddie Kingston. Like this is the only thing that made sense story wise. And even the way Mark Briscoe got involved, that was the Eddie Kingston spot. I was like, yeah, there it is. That was like, there it is. And then just never got like it wasn't like it led to Mark Briscoe versus Gabe Kidd. Like they just left it alone. Like, oh, like that would have been a thing. That was a thread.
Yeah.
We filled
And then
in.
it made Gabe Kidd look bad because it looked like he wasn't there for any good reason.
It's okay. Mark Briscoe came out looking sweet. Mark Briscoe is. I always said Mark Briscoe took the legacy of the Briscoe brothers and really put it on his back and over delivers in every situation you ever put him in. And getting and him being involved in this puts a little bit of legitimacy on Mark Briscoe as now like somebody you can belt up a little seriously. TNT belt, something like that. Because they had him with ROH title, but like that shit wasn't like it looked cool. And it was like legacy stuff, like Briscoe as ROH World Champion, like that looked cool. But it wasn't like
I think that's nice, but I just like it feels like the
mid card belt.
It feels no. I'm saying between the Gabe Kidd and Mark Briscoe thing, it feels like a lesser prize. Just
I'm saying it never happened. They just needed a guy. They literally just were like, fuck, Mark.
No, I'm saying the idea that Mark Briscoe got some legitimacy out of it. Like yeah, that's nice, but at the same time, like yeah, we're talking about maybe a TNT champion, whereas like Gabe Kidd was in this situation where he was like the fucking I'm gonna be the heart and soul of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and he made Tanahashi cry.
But at that point, that's got to be the responsibility of something like that lies on multiple parties. How the fuck did Gabe Kidd get involved here? Like, why were the Young Bucks? They did a thing at the New Japan show where they offered Gabe Kidd a too sweet, and he turned him down. And then the very next week, he was working with them with no explanation. Like, there's a complete fucking broken system here. Like, I don't know. Which
is why at first I was just like, wait, maybe. Because I know there was somebody on the other team that he had a personal beef with, and like I could have sold it as like he's only there to fuck with them.
I thought it would have led to like a Kenny Omega match at Forbidden Door or something.
Right, that's what it was. Yes, it was. That's what it was. I thought it was like Gabe Kidd is only here to fuck with Omega because he wants the rematch.
But yeah, no. Getting back to the Death Riders,
that never happened.
Mac asks us, and what was the point of the Death Riders then? I think. This is what happens with serialized storytelling. You don't always get to the point that you had planned in the beginning, but you can arrive at a different satisfying point that can make all the struggles and everything worth it. I think in the end, if
you're really into the Adam Page storyline, then it was worth it for you.
Which is luckily for me, 80% of the fan base that watches this show. This is what would make it such a satisfying conclusion to the storyline for most of the people that watch the program.
I think that's a satisfying pivot that we were able to turn it into like, well, now it's like we took what was the Death Riders story, just like, well, now it's Adam Page's story, and the Death Riders are just the fucking baddies.
Well, no, not even. Because it's an ensemble thing. They've made the effort to tell the story that way, even though Hangman is the one involved against Mox, and Hangman is the guy riding the horse in front. He's got an army behind him that are trying to help. It's AEW coming together, having woken up, I guess, or whatever.
That stuff's easier to pile on top of it when you've got the gang fucking running roughshod through the town.
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what makes it. That's what makes it also
what was supposed to be the Death Riders ethos.
They just wanted to shake up. We assume they never said young. That's what I think makes it all right. Like they said, we want to shake this company up. We don't like
So
what it's
then,
turned
like
into. Right?
that's such a vagary.
It was supposed to be Darby Allin. That's good. That's good that it was vague. It was supposed to be Darby Allin. We wanted the youth. We wanted someone of AEW original. Like we wanted an AEW project to wake up. I hate what this company has become. All you kids are sitting around on your ass. There's people just getting online and coasting here. We want people to wake up. And we fucking lost Darby Allin. He climbed the mountain. So
But that's
who do
such a
we look around?
confusing thing now. Is it like because if you're watching the show and you enjoy the show, you're just like, well, what's wrong with it?
I don't. That's at that point. I don't think anybody was asking. We're luckily in hindsight now, and in hindsight, I can tell you that was not a question. People accepted what he was saying. Yes, Moxley, please fix it. I remember that was one of the first things when he killed Brian. I was like, wow, what is the direction? I remember fucking still and even still thinking like maybe they thought they were going to get Shane McMahon. That. I was like, I still think maybe they thought they were going to get Shane McMahon involved in this thing somehow. It felt like there was some higher power thing happening. But ultimately
being upset that just fucking Brian was so unceremoniously just like removed.
No, I thought that was funny. I thought that was a very Bryan Danielson thing. I thought that was probably his idea.
Probably.
Kill me. Actually, that would be awesome. Suffocate me and kill me, and then I'll go home. Yeah, no, actually,
not really.
I believe. Yeah, no, as long as he can, as long as he can. But yeah, ultimately, in the end, Jon Moxley says, "Hangman, you fucking piece of shit." The same way he said that, everybody. None of you can do it. If you can, you should. It's almost like if you can beat me, then you deserve to. But I don't think you can. I have all these obstacles in front of me. I don't play by the rules. I think if you beat me, then you have to unlock something else inside of you. And that's what he wants from Hangman. And I think you can tie that to the entire story if you want to be satisfied. If you want to poke holes in it, there are certainly holes you can find in it. But if you want it to work for you, if you enjoy it for you, that works for me.
I guess I just take it as is. It's just like,
Because it worked. I mean, because you can't deny that it worked now. Now it's here. If you pull this off successfully,
the Death Rider storyline worked. There. I think pivoting to Adam Page worked.
Which makes the Death Rider story work. Which made it all worth it.
I think it makes people just go, well, what was the Death Riders doing?
They were bad guys that made the good guys come together and
But
win.
If they were just the baddies, then what was this whole thing in the beginning? Like, I think we have to take the whole thing.
No, I think that's stupid. Now I think you've gone like you're trying to break the story at that point. Like, because now you're like, well, like
I think the story was broken in the beginning, personally,
but that's what I'm saying. That's what makes this. That's what makes things like this work. That's exactly what makes these things work. Because you can look at like fucking the history of wrestling. You can look at these satisfying fucking moments that had complete garbage leading up to them. But we just looked at the moment and we took it. Austin fucking My Way video rock shit that they made gold out of shit. We just kind of accepted it. If we go back and talk about it now and try to say
like years of The Rock and Austin being good going into it.
Implying what?
The 2 years between WrestleMania 15 and 17.
Implying that the guys at the end of the storyline right now don't have years of good wrestling before them. I don't understand what you're saying.
I don't think they have a good program between them.
That's crazy. The Hangman Moxley storyline that led to the Texas Deathmatch the first time was great. I mean, it literally built off a real life fucking King Kong Bundy clothesline concussion situation, and they turned that shit into the story. When you watch that fucking match,
I don't even remember that match.
That's one of the best matches this company has done. And again, I just watched it again like 45 minutes ago. So I
didn't remember it happened.
That was such a great story. That's why I was like, damn, okay, well, if you want to run that back, that's kind of bold, but I can see it. Or like Max said, Brian wasn't the plan at WrestleMania. Yeah, I mean, there's so many instances of that. It worked. It worked so well. It worked so well. People still think that was the plan. It was not the plan. Yeah. I'm definitely of the thought process that this will make it all worth it. But I also think that
I've also never had good things to say about the Authority program, so
I don't know, it was what it was. It was just too much heat. Like there weren't enough people winning. It was like they were always coming out on top for it was like years. like damn bitch, like slow down. There was some moments that were like they absolutely should have lost. Like that fucking actually that they didn't follow up on. They gave Dolph Ziggler that big ass Survivor Series moment with Sting and everything, and then just continued on.
A piece of shit.
They continued on like if they didn't lose any momentum. Like the Authority was like, all right, whatever. It's like wait.
And then they turned the Sting storyline into a WCW thing.
And then they fucked that up. Well,
even though Sting said that would be ridiculous
on
TV.
I believe that due to the way they've pivoted, due to the way things have come around for them this year, all of 2025, gradually increasing in quality until we hit the zenith in July. I think this fucking company is this is not my take. I stole this from someone, from Garrett, whatever the fuck his name is on Twitter. And I was like, damn. It wasn't on purpose. I was already thinking in this direction, but he articulated it better than I did. Because I was like, something about this year is hitting a lot better than pretty much every other year in their existence. And I think even 2021. And what he said was that this is the first year where AEW is hitting strides on their own with no boost. Like the original stride was the boost of just existing in the face of WWE's incompetence. That was the first boost. The second boost was Bryan Punk and the Adam Cole infusion that made 2021 feel special. The pandemic, coming out of the pandemic, being the first outdoor events for AEW in 2 years, bringing in guys from the outside, another boost added to this rocket. Where this year, it's been all the people that they signed. Ospreay, you got a year ago. You built him over this year. Stumbled, I thought, to some times where he was losing way too much. He feels like your guy. That's your AEW guy. You got Swerve. You got Moxley. You got all this stuff going on. That's theirs. They're all their stories. It's all AEW, and it's all fucking hitting. I'm not sure if that's what makes it feel all better, but that shit is This year is different. It's still halfway through. We're literally on the other side of the second half. This is the second day of the second half, July 3rd. And I think as far as the first half of 2025 is concerned, belongs to AEW. Hands down. WWE has stumbled creatively. And they almost keep stumbling. Especially compared to last year. Greg, you look confused. Are you confused? Are you enjoying WWE programming? The programming I know you don't fucking watch that I have to sit through every goddamn week. Wait.
I'm not especially pumped about it either, so now I'm just in between.
No, I think not saying like, oh, all of a sudden the momentum has shifted and AEW is number one in the world. I'm saying one has green arrows and one has red arrows. And almost obviously, I wouldn't even accept an argument in the other direction. No, Nelsito, you just like playing the fence. Like that's the funniest thing. WWE fans are the funniest, bro. They fucking when Night of Champions ended, the first thing some of them were saying were like, "Oh, North American wrestling in 2025 is a real downturn." Every fucking AEW fan turned around and said, no, hold on. Turn around and hold your fucking L. If you didn't like your fucking pay-per-view, you didn't like your fucking pay-per-view. Don't try to drag this company in. As far as fan satisfaction is concerned, it's kumbaya over here with fucking lighting candles and praises and shit. You want to be sad your fucking heroes bowing down to the king over there? Don't drag everybody else in. North American wrestling is... Mexico's in North America, right? CMLL is fucking... killing it. What are you? North American wrestling is really dire in 2025. Shut the fuck up. Hold your fucking hell if you're not enjoying this shit. My biggest beef with WWE right now is the EO Sky run. You dangled that shit in front of me like shining keys, you piece of shit. You gave her the belt and gave her the WrestleMania moment. I was like, yo, that's fucking cool. It came out of nowhere. I didn't see that coming. It turns out they did it because we didn't see it coming and had no meaningful follow-up plan. We gave her the title and then booked Liv Morgan like the champion for the next 6 months. Fuck you. And if she drops it to Rhea at this Evolution pay-per-view, it would have been a waste. So hopefully, there's still
never
time.
Trusted WWE with foreign talents in that position.
Never trusting it doesn't make it doesn't absolve it. You know, like that doesn't make it good.
I'm just not surprised.
I don't know if I'm surprised as
they can't
much
have
as
EO out there cutting promos, which is what they like to do.
Nah, man, fuck that. What year is this? They literally run pre-tapes all the time.
WWE does all the time.
They
hate those pre-tapes. You can tell.
It's supposed to be a new company.
The Shinsuke one. It's not that new.
It's supposed to be new, Greg. They presented themselves as new opportunities.
Of course they did.
And they gave her the belt though. Like they did it. Like you went through with this. They opened WrestleMania and had a better match than pretty much all the men in your fucking roster. And then she spent the next what month is this? July
in that company.
That's what's fucked up about it because that was like really big. I was like, look at her. Isn't that shouldn't she get a cookie? Like, why aren't you giving her a cookie? You gave her the belt and then put her in a corner,
for good matches.
They gave her a fucking not a side quest, not a main story, not a mini story. She was doing random ass matches on Raw. I don't even know if she defended the belt, right? After WrestleMania, I'm not even sure if she's defended the belt. Like, it's crazy to me. So yeah, that's also on top of this so far aimless Seth Rollins thing, which I really had. I was like, damn, I guess I thought since Paul Heyman was involved, it would be a little more.
Match since WrestleMania.
She hasn't defended since Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, I thought I was missing one or something, at least a Raw or something.
No, she's only had 4 matches since WrestleMania.
That's my only personal beef with WWE right now.
She had a no contest with Stephanie Fakir, a tag match on NXT. She beats Roxanne, and her and Rhea beat Julia. That's what they did. They were doing the Besties program with Io and Rhea.
Yes, that's a great way.
Where they were
to
like kind of becoming friendly.
While Rhea's involved in stories and having feuds and doing pay-per-view matches and Io's smiling. Hi, I'm Rhea's friend. Fuck you. That's the one WWE storyline right now. Or not story, but just one WWE thing right now that I'm just like, that really pisses me off. Everything else I'm going to say
doing
is
the thing where like Rhea's like, you're not so bad.
Everything else I'm going to say here, I'm open to a discussion about, but I believe is just subjectively like a thing. Like the Seth Rollins angle when Paul Heyman got involved with Rollins, and we're still very early. Like it's only been, WrestleMania was late April, so it's only been May, June, July.
Mm-hmm.
But when Paul Heyman got involved, I just thought there'd be a little more meat to this. He seemed to take so much care of the bloodline story, even from like day one. It was really compelling story wise. Like, of course, they were in the pandemic and they had the opportunity to experiment with the storytelling.
But this is another case of just like,
damn, it is
vague, mysterious villain
with no
vague, mysterious purpose.
Right now, Seth is phase 1 Death Riders, like Seth Riders.
Jesus.
Where they're just like aimlessly running around.
How well that worked.
He's just continuing the story he already had. Like, there's nothing new. There's nothing new here. How can this be the most interesting thing Seth has done in a while? Sure. It's the same story he did with CM Punk before he had Paul Heyman and these guys around him.
The only thing that was vaguely interesting that they did immediately after, and then didn't do anything with was like the idea that like they were really pushing it down his throat that he was a hypocrite, but like Seth is so self-righteous about what he was doing that he can't see it.
Essentially, he just, like, as far as I can tell, he wants the world championship, and he built a stable to make it happen.
Right.
And I was
But
like,
like
well,
he's like the idea is that he's doing all the things Roman did,
yeah,
even though Roman was supposed to be the problem.
yeah. So I guess that's why I said, like, it's still early. Like, this might be something that has to like sit and be seen in hindsight. Like, oh, this was the era where Seth tried to do his own bloodline.
Yeah.
But as like sitting through it week to week is like, oh, this is a lot less compelling than I thought it would be. But
because they're not doing the potential good character work that they have there, which is like, like big, like, telling Seth constantly, it's just like you're becoming the thing you hated in pushing that idea and pushing like, I guess like the interesting thing. The thing that would have been interesting about it is actually seeing Seth kind of unravel into that position.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where he's just like, you know what? Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I see who Roman is now and why he had to be.
That's like I said, when we get to that point in the story, things in hindsight might look a little more attractive. But sitting through it, it certainly feels like a lull.
But they've got to do the work.
Yeah, you got to get there, which we really haven't yet. We kind of been relying on hype moments, like, oh, Braun debuted.
It's been too long that I've not done the work by now, but
hey, there's still time. You get your Seth Rollins and CM Punk match at SummerSlam again.
See, that's the thing, and that's why like when I'm talking about, especially when I talk about WWE, because they're supposed to be the purveyors of this sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's not even about the match.
Yeah.
The matches are going to be good. They're talented wrestlers.
It's the story. It's about the cinema. The cinema. I can fucking kill me. Okay. There's that. Yeah. And then thankfully the 3-hour SmackDown
I think it always
slogs
has been to a degree, but that's another thing. Like I think when people talk about Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, they're talking about the stories.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen. I think there's lots of different ways to tell stories in wrestling, and there's some people are so conditioned to one that they're not open to others. But that's a whole other conversation. I just think right now, WWE was at a creative zenith last year, and this year is like certainly like a down. Like we're in a valley compared to that mountaintop. And in some
which is inevitable.
Ways, yeah, but it was so fast.
Jeez,
it was so fast. It was just that WrestleMania season, like, and that's it.
Yeah, and I think it's also like how do you say? A significant consequence of like everything that happened with The Rock.
Yeah, and I've seen some people try to put this on TKO. Like TKO is the reason why WWE's in a lull. Like I'm like, I don't think you understand how the TKO thing works, because they own the company. Sure, the Ari Emanuel and the board there, but essentially the company belongs to Triple H and Nick Khan. They run things here.
Yes.
Triple H, if their creative bag is running a little empty, then that's on them. That's not TKO. That doesn't make any sense.
But like that's one of those things where people have their own ideas about the scenario, and one of those ideas will always be, well, The Rock has pull because he's The Rock.
Well, he certainly
gets to say what he wants.
He certainly does. It's hard to deny that shit. They got that WWE Uncut show coming out, and it's supposed to be 8 episodes, and one of them is about WrestleMania. And first of all, let me think. You know what makes me not care about this shit?
Go for it.
It's a WWE produced show. It's entirely authorized. Anything they don't want us to see will not be seen. and anything we
course.
see is something they want us to see. So how backstage could it really be? How insider could it really be if everything is completely clean and authorized? If we get to cut together some moments of Triple H looking stressed out because, oh no, this storyline might not work out or somebody got injured, sure, but like we're not gonna see juicy shit. We're not gonna see people politicking for a spot when they realized The Rock wasn't gonna be at WrestleMania. You know, like
How do you measure that up with like people who also say that the not while authorized, I guess, while it wasn't a WWE production, stuff like Wrestling with Shadows was also a work.
was it? Did they come out like?
That's what people believe.
Do they think Wrestling with Shadows was a work?
Yes, because it's too convenient that the cameras were there for the fucking screw job.
No, I think if they say that, then they're
and
not.
that they caught Vince coming out the room after getting his shit knocked.
I think they're not. Like maybe people who say that haven't watched it, like actually watched it, they just know this the Brett Montreal parts
of it all. Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you watch it, the context is they've been there for a fucking year. Of course they were gonna be there when that happened. Like they were there. They've been there. They were shooting shit for a long time. He was out doing movies. He took a break.
Sure.
They followed him to the film set. Is
And
it a
they just-
coincidence?
That's what people. That's how people are. Like some people will never believe in coincidence.
Like what's
and their coincidence is that their documentary just happened to catch the biggest moment in Brett's life.
I think if it happened that the documentary just started that weekend and then followed him throughout his whole situation to the WCW days, then I would be like, okay, like I don't know. But the fact that they were there, like, so you're telling me they captured all this useless Bret Hart footage for no reason? Like, no, they wanted to do a Bret Hart documentary, and they got the luckiest fucking situation in the world happen to them. They weren't even supposed to have the camera on because if you see, they got the footage of Vince walking out the locker room. The camera's on the ground.
Sure,
it's supposed to be off.
It's like if you were doing a George Bush documentary and caught the fucking caught him
the
in
9/11 planning.
Day.
No, no,
not the planning, obvious. Jesus, John.
No. Yeah, no. So I don't know how much backstage shit we're actually gonna see, and I certainly don't have no issue with people are like, this is the death of kayfabe. I was like, shut up.
What the fuck you talking about?
Kayfabe died on. Well, what is it? What
we're
was
having this conversation, and that's how you know it's dead.
What was that day in the 1980s where Vince declared pro wrestling fake? like, come on, bro.
Was it the?
Yeah, it was.
It might have been 80. It might have been the late 80s.
Yeah, it was late 80s, and then in the 97, he does a promo on TV. Yeah, the court case is where he declared it a sports entertainment. This is not. You shouldn't regulate it that way.
Yeah, and then the real knife in the heart was the Attitude Era promo. It was like good guys and bad guys.
We're gonna get morally gray. Shut the fuck up.
It's insulting your intelligence, as the company would then go on to continually insult our intelligence.
Yeah, so again, kayfabe been dead. If somebody else was in charge, if Triple H had no control over what the cameras captured, I would be down. Like, oh shit, like we got shot to him being like, get out the room, like get the fuck out the room, please. You know, like that's the kind of shit I want to see. You guys gotta go.
Did you see the spectacle of WrestleMania?
The Mania of WrestleMania?
No. The WrestleMania 9 specific one.
No, I did not. I thought that was a Nick Puff piece. We just wanted to show he's been around wrestling for so long. We got this clip of him working backstage at WrestleMania 9.
I mean, there's very little of him in that.
It's all it takes. That's the moment you want for social media right there.
Sure, I guess. I was mostly speaking of like how uncomfortable the guys were around the cameras.
Oh, that's actually funny because you get the pics, you get the Undertaker and shit. Like,
yeah, I was like, why the fuck is he looking at me? Why is he filming?
The fuck is that?
And everyone's just like, what's this camera for? It's like they're still in the throes of kayfabe around WrestleMania 9, so they're like, every camera is like an opportunity to get exposed.
It's
I lost you.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say it's one of those peripheral WWE shows that I just have no interest into. Like, you know, let's fucking go LFG or Evolve or fucking now this thing. I just got no.
If nothing else, I think it's interesting to see the story of them like having to construct WrestleMania 9 at the last minute.
If they, because they're gonna talk about Rock coming in and quote unquote saving the day at Elimination Chamber. That's gonna be
Okay.
Yeah. And so
that's
again,
another fun part. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's another fun part of it. The growing story of just like Hogan's not going to be there. Okay, Hogan's going to be there. He's not going to be in the mid event. Oh, Hogan. Oh, god damn it.
such a bad idea. That's the first. That's the first thing. It's the first thing I thought of when they said Darby Allin was coming back. I was like, "You're big. Get the fuck out of here! Don't you do it! Don't you do it! You're gonna fuck Darby up if you do that shit. People gonna hate.
Now
people
all
going
I'm
to
thinking of is like Adam Page with the powder in his eye, just going, "Go, Darby, go!" And everyone just going, "Holy shit, this is terrible."
But yeah, no, we got a couple other things. Just one or two more things to talk about here.
You want to talk about a travesty?
1 second, because I did want to gloss over this real fast.
Go for it.
When Liv Morgan got injured,
because it's 6:30 here.
yeah. It's one thing. When Liv Morgan got injured, she was in the middle of the first beginnings of a program with Nikki Bella.
Yes.
Nikki disappeared. They didn't even pivot. Like they didn't even do anything. And that Evolution show was like 1 week away.
Stephanie McQuay.
I wonder if they paid her and they they really got to figure something out. Like we it's got no time. Like where are the belts?
That close? Damn.
It's the same week as All In. The 12th. So they got 2 shows left. Like they can bring it back on Monday and hopefully they figure something out. That's funny as fuck though. I was like, damn, they brought Nikki Bella back. Nobody wanted to see her. People were talking shit and she lost her fucking she lost her opponent. Bad times.
I've seen a lot of people who are just like try to stand up for the Bellas and giving them credit for pushing, the women as far as they could back then. I was just like, no one's gonna fucking buy this.
That's such a fucking when you say you open the doors, do you mean like because you performed like that, like because you existed, like your existence as a woman in that time period is what made it okay for them to be here today? Like, what the fuck did you do to push a boundary? Oh, you scared the shit out of me. I thought somebody was gonna kill you.
The idea is because the Bellas had a spot, the other women had a spot, and that it was something. It was a feeling.
Get the fuck out of here. Is that Chick-fil-A? Are you eating Chick-fil-A?
No, that's a Dunkin' Donuts.
Oh, I was like, what the fuck, Greg? That's a chicken sandwich. Yeah. So final thing to talk about tonight: Hirooki Goto dropping the IWGP or this morning. Excuse me, not tonight. Dropping the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. On Tanahashi Jam, which you're conditioned to think of this as it's not even a show that you can watch in America. It's dedicated to Tanahashi. The world title match isn't in the main event.
It's like the first few Crown Jewel matches where you're just like it's kind of non-canon.
Pretty much. And so, still, Goto loses the belt to Zack Sabre Jr. in a pretty damn good match, which makes it all the more frustrating. Fuck! No!
Yeah.
This can't be. This literally can't be. When I heard that, I was like, this cannot be. Like, what do you mean? I woke up and Greg was like, Goto lost the belt. I was like, what the fuck are you even talking about? First of all, why would you message someone with such horrible news like in the morning? I got to see that.
Because I had just heard it happen and I was...
You didn't even ask me if I was sitting down. He's just like, Goto fucking died. No! No!
Listen, if I've learned anything, it's that attempting to preempt bad news only makes bad news worse.
God damn, no!
And because of our different time zones, if I attempt to preempt news and then I go to sleep before you wake up, then you're just stuck with the mystery.
I think he hates me. I don't know. I got that news and I reacted like, what's the fucking damn.
Dang. Oh, the Will Smith. Damn.
That was fucking. It wasn't all in the. It wasn't all in the family. It was fucking not the Jeffersons. Was it the Jeffersons? It was one of the early good sitcom shows. I can't remember. Good times. It was good times.
John's like, when they were good.
Good times. That's the one. JJ
Good
died.
times.
Car accident.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
damn. She gets the phone call. And that's how I felt hearing Goto lost a belt to Zack Sabre Jr. I love Zack Sabre
Like
Jr.
someone died in a car crash.
But like, no. Are you fucking kidding me? What are you doing, Ghetto? Like, between this, the fucking House of Torture shit, the goddamn, I'm like, you're killing me. You are actively killing me.
I want to use that as an example. As a a good pointed one where like, if anybody is confused about the idea of whether or not you're talking about like, being glad the heel is losing or being glad the program is over, one of the biggest differences here is that John is not upset with Zack Sabre Jr. John is upset with the writer of the show, Gato.
Absolutely, because first of all, Gato needs to be taken out back already. We are way beyond, like, this is fucked up. Gato is limping creatively lately, and I know there's a committee, and I know for a while he had to struggle with Dick Togo, but I don't know how much that works anymore. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who's in charge of anything.
I don't think Dick Togo's even on the show anymore.
Yeah, I think he's long gone. I think he fucked his shot. But he was involved with Evil.
Because wasn't he a Bullet Club guy and then like a Bullet Club House of Torture guy and then
and then gone.
Yeah.
So Goto's gone. I guess he's still in the G1. I don't think that he's gonna win.
Yes, he is. He is not.
I've seen some people think that maybe this is just a detour so that Zack Sabre Jr. can have the belt at Forbidden Door in the UK. And to them, I say, well, then why did he drop the belt in the first place? Like, he yelled that shit.
I would have to see the schedule.
Yeah. Forbidden Door is after All In. It's in August.
Forbidden Door is in the UK?
Yeah. It's in August in the UK. And it's not an AEW show. People have people immediately said, this is Tony Khan's fault. He must have done this. And it's like, I think one major misunderstanding about Forbidden Door is that it's genuinely a joint show. It is actually a AEW and New Japan production. They like that one is not just for logos. That one is a real. New Japan makes decisions headed into there too, and they probably thought that putting a UK belt on a UK guy putting the IWGP belt on a UK guy for UK show makes the most sense.
Yeah,
and
we don't have that belt anymore.
Maybe they can get an Ospreay match, which I wouldn't. I'm like, what for him to lose? That'd be dumb. Like I wouldn't do that. I would have run that match with no title, and then now we don't know. He can possibly lose. Maybe, I don't know. It's not a big match situation. Something could have happened. He could have got stolen, his ankle taken. I don't know. Zack Sabre Jr. is a crafty.
His ankle taken.
He's a crafty fellow. That Zack Sabre Jr.
Stole his ankle.
God damn.
Got away with the bones.
But now it's a world title situation. I'm like, Ospreay can't lose in one of those. Like, we're setting a precedent. Okay, don't do that. We also lost out on Goto versus Shibata, which I thought was a home run. Like, the people who go to see a New Japan show in the UK want to see Japanese talent, bro. I'm sorry. They're tired of being pandered to. How many different times?
That was the problem with a lot of the American New Japan shows, isn't it?
Yeah, like, I didn't come here to see my fucking favorite American indie guy. Like, I came here to see fucking, I want to see a Kokeshi headbutt or some shit. You know, like, damn. So it'll be the same situation here in the UK where it's like they're tired of being pandered to. Like, they get it. Okay, we get it. Ospreay, we get it. We also like Yota Tsuji. Like, we like all your other guys. And we'll see, man. We'll see. Goto, I was highly disappointed, heartbroken.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it for this week. We didn't necessarily run long, but we started late.
Yes, we did. I know a lot of people were definitely heartbroken just because, not just because the run is over, but because I think people's hearts got tied in because it lasted as long as it did. People's hearts got tied into
He's got the most
Goto making it to
defenses.
the dome.
He's got the most defenses on the belt in the history of this IWGP World Heavyweight Championship so far.
Yeah.
Ah, that's such bullshit, man. The Goto revolution is over. It just started, bro.
And I think I also felt like I don't know. I feel like any match with Yoda or Kanosuke at Wrestle Kingdom is a better match against Goto than it is Zack Sabre Jr.
Absolutely, and
I don't think Zack Sabre Jr. works New Japan main event style all that great.
Did we get a Takeshita versus Goto match last year? It was Ishii. No, it was Ishii. It was Ishii that people were going crazy about. So when this is over, I'm probably gonna watch one of those. I'll probably go back and watch Suji.
Stone Pitbull.
But yes, some New Japan stuff. I don't know. I wanted to watch the G1 this year, but they are not really enticing me to watch the G. The lineup is fucking kind of thin. Goto dropped the belt, non-personally insulted. House of Torture has evolved into a giant zit on that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you're killing me. I'm gonna be reading results this year.
I don't know what I was watching a podcast. I was listening to a podcast that specifically talks about Japanese wrestling, and they speak of House of Torture like they aren't well liked in Japan either. But I keep hearing about the merch sales.
Well, that might be outdated information. Maybe people who hate them now.
Maybe.
I know I do. But yeah, no, that's us. That's DirtSheetRadio episode 201. 201 episodes. We're here. We'll be back next week to talk. I was gonna say to talk about Superman. No, by next week.
Podcast.
By next week, I would have already seen Superman at a special screening on Monday. Thankfully, now I don't have to get spoiled by the people who will see it for the Amazon screening on Tuesday. And
I just gotta make it to the 11th.
Oh, you're not going to the Amazon Prime screening?
No.
Oh shit.
We had already gotten tickets before the Prime screening stuff got out, I think. Oh, I was looking to, and
God damn.
I had to the scheduling was based around when my girlfriend could go also.
Hey, you got it on opening day.
Yeah, I was able. I got my day off. That was another thing too. I also had the schedule around me getting the day off because I didn't want to wait till Tuesday.
I will next week be for the weekend be doing some heavy research and reading Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman book. That it wasn't the sole inspiration for this movie, but it was a heavy inspiration for the Superman film.
Yes.
So much so that they keep giving out issue ones with special reprinted covers. I keep seeing different ones. I was like, yeah, I get it. All-Star Superman. What about for all seasons? Okay, there were other inspirations here too. But yes, I will be deep diving, deep diving, all up in there. I'm spreading those cheeks. I'm sniffing, sniffing. Deep diving Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman with George on major issues. That's something I really love doing. Lately, Grant Morrison is such an interesting individual, but he is also very, very willing to explain himself afterwards. If you look up interviews or if you look up
might
excerpts,
not understand it, but he'll say it.
Well, no, that's the thing. If you read it as it is, sometimes you don't get it. You'll be like, "Fuck, that was a lot." I
meant you might not understand Grant.
Oh, then also him. He's also very. Oh, they. Fuck. I genuinely forgot.
I forgot about that too.
Sorry, Mr. Morrison. Wait. What is the prefix then?
That's a good point. Gentleman Morrison?
Oh, Chancellor Morrison.
Citizen Morrison.
Fuck! I have to figure this one out.
That's the
Anyway.
future. We just refer to everyone as "Hello, citizen."
Hello, citizen. Oh no, that's how we said. That's how we set ourselves for bad karma. It's like you talk to people like that. That's how Mace. You learn nothing from Mace Windu. Yeah, so no, definitely check that out next week. Major Issues on Wednesday, which is before the Superman movie comes out, but I would have already had knowledge of the film because I've seen it. So when we're talking about All-Star Superman and how it possibly has inspiration for the film, I won't be able to spoil it, but I'll be able to be like, oh, that makes a lot of sense.
By Tuesday, John and like 3 Make-A-Wish kids would have seen it.
Me, and I'm pushing them out of the fucking way. They should have given out free popcorn,
Stop
and
it.
these little guys are trying to fucking get it all. And I don't think that's right. I don't think that's fair. They said one for everybody. What makes you special?
I'm dying.
Oh, so you should get more popcorn? Fuck you. Yeah. You want to die faster? Like you're gonna choke? I don't understand.
I think this is the thing that gets John Campbell.
He was keeping popcorn from hypothetical Make-A-Wish kids. Join us next week, but for tonight, I love you. Thank you for joining us. Be easy, Queasy, Lemon Speezy.
Oh, this is new.
I did that. I made that. Did you like
you
it?
did. Yes,
That
I
was
did.
really cool. Thank you. I should give it music, but I like that we can talk over it. No, wait. Let me do it again. Okay. Goodbye, everyone.